Superdimensional Internet Cafe. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 151, Theocratic vs Black Technology. Sputnik. Athena's eyebrows changed, her deep eyes looked to the sky, and she instantly saw the artificial satellite Sirius in outer space. That's where those missiles were launched. But unfortunately it doesn't make sense. Athena hummed. The underworld power was activated. The invisible space exuded a dark breath of death. All the missiles were corrupted before they fell in front of her, and they could not explode at all. So soon to use power. I thought you would play for a while. Chen said with a chuckle. The wisdom of the concubine tells me that it is better to catch him quickly. Athena said, yes, but I don't think so. Chen shook his head. He wanted to see where the limits of Big Wolf were. At this moment, all the members of the Superdimension Internet Cafe who were watching the live broadcast were taken aback. Dr. Kinus. Sputnik, was it built long ago? The cutest and most talented source. No, it should be made after the big grey wolf was frightened. If he had made it long ago, he would have used it in Yankan. Those missiles. The bundle of Zyos he used Mecha to deal with 053, but it was not troublesome. Honey used her Mech to cut down thousands of missiles sent to island countries all over the world. But to deal with Yankan, it is enough to braze Yankan thousands of times. Alice, is it possible? In less than 10 minutes, he built an artificial satellite and installed a missile. Favorite. Guata, even if Academy City wants to produce an artificial satellite, it won't be that fast. Misaka Makoto feels like her worldview is about to be turned upside down. Aizen, this is the truth, but after watching 2000 episodes of Pleasant Goat and Big Wolf, I feel that my thinking logic is a little disordered. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. Can you speak human words? Zayashizi didn't quite understand what Aizen meant. Aizen, just use common sense to understand the world of Big Wolf. You will be no different from the mentally retarded. That world can't be managed with common sense. If you are serious, you will lose. Evil King True Eye. That world can actually affect intelligence. Liuhua couldn't believe it, because she didn't know the title of Brain Sheep. Golden Retriever. Scary. Eyeing Lily looked at the live broadcast screen in awe, and felt that she would have to watch less of Zhejiangxiang's works in the future. The poisonous tongue is not my fault. You are not Aqua. Are you afraid of being affected? Although Zayashizi agrees with Aizen's words, they are not children, and they still have basic analytical skills. As long as you don't put the common sense of your own world into the Pleasant Goat world. Luo Liang, if they were Aqua, they wouldn't be afraid of being affected. Golden Retriever. Evil King's True Eyes. Poison tongue is not my fault. Luo Liang, why did the sect master say something wrong? The poisonous tongue is not my fault. No, what you said makes too much sense. How can the mentally retarded be afraid of being affected? Maybe they can still be negative and positive. My favorite is Merlin too. Look, everyone, the second wave of attacks is coming. Misaka Makoto watched the live broadcast with awe, and she didn't dare to take the second wave of attacks rashly. King Grassland. Chen and Athena looked up at the beams of light in the sky and looked a little surprised. The artificial satellite above shot a full 3000 laser rays. This is already comparable to the big move of a tier 5 powerhouse. Kizaru's 8-foot Kyangao Jade is not that strong, and the angle is not so tricky, and the laser rays of the Big Wolf have almost no blind spots in all directions. It's interesting, but unfortunately it's not enough. Chen clasped his hands and smiled slightly, and he didn't even need to shoot. Devouring the underworld. Athena picked up her jade hand and aimed it at the sky, and the endless darkness devoured the laser rays. Damn, it didn't work. In outer space, he transformed the wolf castle into a spaceship to escape from the green grassland. The wolf was sweating profusely. He did not expect that the demons in the two internet cafes would catch up. And the weapons he made didn't work against them. That kind of black gas seems to come from hell, eroding everything, as powerful as a black hole, and any weapon is useless. Husband, what are you doing? Why are you moving your family to outer space? And what are the creatures in the picture? They don't look like animals. They are very special. In the command room of Wolfsburg, the Red Wolf hummed, "Wife, they are demons who came to eat us." Wolf said, pointing to Chen and Athena in the command room screen. "What? Then why don't you hurry up and think of a way to protect me?" And Xiaohu point the Red Wolf was so frightened that he fell off the reclining chair and fell. Who is Xiaohu? Hui Tailang's face was full of doubts. Where did Xiaohu come from? Who dared to seduce his wife? Did he want to kill him? It's your future son, idiot. Han Tailang said with a blushing face. It's great that you have my wife. Grey Wolf hugged Red Wolf and turned around excitedly. I didn't expect that the great Grey Wolf King would have a son after returning from a long trip. It's great. Damn it, trash, you still don't put me down and fight off those demons. The Red Wolf was turned to vomit, and a frying pan suddenly knocked the Grey Wolf flying. Yes, yes, my wife said yes. Big Wolf's nose was blue and his face was swollen, but he didn't complain at all to his wife, thinking about countermeasures anxiously in his heart. What to do? What to do? What to do? Point the whole family is at the juncture of life and death. For the sake of his wife and children, Grey Wolf bursts into potential. His brain is running fast, and countless immeasurable whimsy flashes quickly. Have it. Grey Wolf had a flash of light, and then quickly called out a lot of machines for synthesis and fiddling. Point ding ding block. White hole lights. Not long after, an oversized light bulb similar to a fluorescent lamp appeared in the hands of Grey Wolf. Husband, what is this? Red Wolf asked curiously. Zero, it's a white hole light. It doesn't emit light by itself. It has to be illuminated with a flashlight. Grey Wolf took out a flashlight and shone on it, and it really sparkled. What's the use of this thing? Red Wolf threw another frying pan. Point the big Grey Wolf was beaten with nosebleeds, but he smiled. It has a great effect and can absorb light. Point speaking of which, the Grey Wolf launched the light bulb into outer space. At this time, on the green grassland, Chen and Athena were waiting impatiently. Point or explode his artificial satellite. Athena said. Chen wanted to agree, but suddenly the corner of his mouth raised slightly and said, "No, look up." Athena frowned slightly, looked up, and her face was ugly. Point such a shining light. That is the brilliance that contains the entire universe. Point she actually dispelled her power. Theocracy has failed. What kind of weapon is this? Athena did not like this kind of light power. Light dispels darkness is the law of any universe. Black holes will also be neutralized by white holes. Grey Wolf created a white hole. Internet cafe members will not be affected by the supreme law of the universe. Your mystery is useless to Grey Wolf. Weird weapons are useless to us. Chen said lightly. White hole weapons, made in 3 or 2 times? Athena is convinced. Is this the power of black technology? Point the power of the scientific side can completely shake the dominance of the mysterious side and compete with the mysterious side. Point this is convinced if I say that this is not the limit of Big Wolf. Chen said. What else can he do? Athena said. Point not only Athena, but the members of the internet cafe watching the live broadcast were thinking like this at the moment. Want to know? It's easy. 3.7 Chen raised his hand and aimed at the sky, using his own emptiness attribute to activate the power of the God King Merkel. Void, the gate of the underworld, the gate of Hades opened, and a huge dark vortex appeared in outer space, emitting an endless power of darkness and nothingness, swallowing all the white hole light ball. Points darkness and light neutralize each other. But Chen's nihilistic nature can disrupt their balance and disregard the supreme law of the universe. Point. No matter how strong the invention of Big Wolf is, it is meaningless in the face of Chen's nihilistic attributes. What? Even my white hole light bulbs can be eaten directly. Are these really devils from hell? Facing the absolute power of the enemy, Hui Taillang panicked, and he had no masters. I know you can hear Grey Wolf. I will give you 10 minutes to surrender. Otherwise I will catch you later, and the consequences are not something you can bear. Chen's cold threat put the greatest pressure on Big Wolf. It's over. It's over. Is it really over? In the situation where there was almost no way, a crazy idea suddenly flashed in the Grey Wolf's mind, gritted his teeth, and said, "You forced me." Chapter 152. Shocked. Big Wolf's trick turned out to be Superdimension Internet Cafe. Discussion group. The cutest genius source. It's so scary. The big grey wolf can even make a white hole. At the end of Xiaozi. He really admires Big Wolf, and he doesn't know what step he can do. The leader of the group only gave him 10 minutes, and Grey Wolf doesn't seem to want to sit still, and is making a machine in the command room, laughing while making it, as if he is brewing a big move. Drive. Kinus. No. White hole. This is totally unreasonable. Drive. Kinus looked at the wolf who was making iron weapons in the live broadcast and couldn't understand it. He feels that his decades of scientific experience have been completely subverted today. A light bulb does not emit light, but absorbs light. Well, the level of science is very general. But being able to turn into a white hole against a black hole is extremely speechless. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. Diving King Aizen said that he can't look at the world with common sense. Xiaozi said that she was a little fortunate, but fortunately she was not a scientist, otherwise she would probably go crazy just like Dr. Kinus and the others. Orochimaru. What is a white hole? What is a black hole? The Grey Wolf's weapon can kill a cage level ninja, and the white hole can kill me in seconds. For the first time in his life, Orochimaru felt that he was an underdog. He didn't understand so many words, and a weapon invented by a wolf could kill him. This kind of attack, his triple Rashomon can't stop it at all. Uchiha Madara, Little Snake Man, you know the unfathomable depth of superdimensional internet cafes. Any one person here may completely blow you up. How dare you fight me? Studying with humility. Orochimaru. What dare I not? I also have a whole card. Orochimaru's eyes flickered, and the big deal was broken with Uchiha Madara. Orochimaru, who has not been killed by Uchiha Madara's Manger Key in seconds, is far less eager to Shuriken than later, and he doesn't know how powerful Manger Key is. Otherwise he would definitely not dare to think about breaking the net with Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara, AAH. Uchiha Madara laughed without saying a word. Really thought he didn't know Orochimaru's cards. He was the man who watched hundreds of episodes of Hokage Point. Although he always complained about the rubbish of the protagonist Naruto at the beginning, he didn't remember the memory of watching Hokage Ninja when he was killed. But it's such a hamaka after all. The mouth is straight and the body is straight. Everyone understands the cutest genius source. People are looking forward to your fighting mouth. The bundle of Xiaozi secretly said. These different worlds are really interesting. If she can join her as machine, how awesome. Drive. Kinus, I have a question. Internet Cafe Taizi. Can't the members hurt each other? How did the leader of the group fight the big wolf? Yan Lingji. This problem is very simple. The master didn't attack Hui Tailang, and Hui Tailang's attack didn't touch the master and them. Just the collision between skills. Even if the skills on both sides hit each other, it would not cause damage. Goblin Queen. Well then, I'm curious why the Grey Wolf was scared away. Queen of Ice. That wolf definitely didn't read the rules of the net. If he knew the sign rule, he wouldn't be scared to death. Aestes admired Wolf's creative ability, but more admired his timid character with such a terrifying creative ability, yet so timid. I don't know how this brain circuit is formed. Goblin Queen. Is that so? It's really the style of Big Wolf, the cutest genius source. Speaking of which, 10 minutes have passed. Dr. Kinus. Then let's take a look at the ultimate potential of Grey Wolf. Hearing this, scientific research geniuses such as Orochimaru and Aizen all narrowed their eyes and looked at the live video. Pleasant universe, outer space, husband, have you come up with a solution? Red Wolf looked worried as the minutes passed by. Don't worry, wife, I have developed the ultimate murder weapon. Big Wolf smiled proudly. Then you don't hurry up and take it out. Han Taelang said angrily. Light stopper, ultimate serious. Grey Wolf took out a silver remote control, shining with a transparent light like white jade. Ultimate serious. Red Wolf looked at the remote control. What magical effect does this remote control have? Look, wife, the next moment is to witness the miracle. Grey Wolf sold himself, as if he was a magician surnamed Liu. Afterwards, Grey Wolf turned on the horn in the command room and shouted at Chen and Athena on the green grassland. The devil below, listen, this king has developed the ultimate murder weapon. Give you one last chance, surrender quickly and pay us a No, 100 lambs. Otherwise you will wait for this king's revenge. Chen listened with a sneer. Ah, you are very confident, Big Wolf. Hopefully you won't regret what you just said. Chen smiled. He was considering whether to hand it over to acids after catching the Big Wolf. Acids is the best at torture and abuse. Can definitely train the cunning grey wolf into a die-hard dog. HMPH. Since the devils are unwilling to surrender, don't blame me. Look at my ultimate killer. The negotiation broke down, and Grey Wolf was not surprised at all. He had long known that these people who eat wolves without splitting their bones would not agree. If it were him, he would not agree to let go of the little sheep in the sheep village. Heart to heart. Big Wolf directly pressed the remote control. Haha. At this moment, all the members of the internet cafe could hear their own voices, which were extremely excited, expectant and apprehensive. The ultimate murder weapon from the genius of Grey Wolf is terrifying to think about. Ultimate serious transformation. In the universe, Grey Wolf's wolf-fought space battleship became unfolding a pair of mechanical flying wings, erupting white flames. The battleship's wolf head compressed high-density space energy, forming a beam cannon, erupting in the direction of King Grassland. My concubine's wisdom tells me that the energy of this beam cannon has reached the realm of the gods, and maybe it can try to kill some gods who refuse to obey, Athena exclaimed. But her face was calm. Not to mention that the members of the internet cafe cannot hurt each other. Even if they can, an attack of this level is still able to resist the Trinity. Athena 053. It always feels wrong. Chen frowned. If this is the ultimate move of Big Wolf, then with all due respect for Chen, who is immortal and indestructible, this kind of attack is a scratching level, neither painful nor itchy. Can the Grey Wolf be so patient? Is there another mystery? Athena, use the power of wisdom to spy on the properties of this beam cannon. Chen saw it for a while, but the beam cannon didn't shoot down, so he couldn't help asking, okay, not good. The power of time and space. Athena just spied on the energy of the beam cannon and suddenly discovered the mystery inside. Hey, remember me, this king will definitely come back. He used the space-time beam cannon to penetrate the space-time tunnel, and the Big Wolf controlled the ultimate Sirius to rush in and slipped away. Before leaving, he didn't forget to say his mantra, I will definitely be back. In other words, run away. Shock. All the members of the internet cafe were wanted by Big Wolf. The shouting ultimate murder weapon is actually a pretense for running away, and it also penetrates the time and space tunnel. I have to say that, in a sense, Big Wolf is really a goddamn genius. Even Chen never thought of this. It was originally a dog walking game that was hand to hand, but now it has suddenly evolved into a chase across time and space. What a treacherous wolf. Chen smiled coldly. Since he dared to play tricks, he would give Big Wolf a big surprise later. He has no patience to play with Big Wolf anymore. Chapter 153. The original world. The evolution of the world tree. In the time-space tunnel, the ultimate Sirius is sailing slowly. Hey, my wife, I didn't expect me to be so powerful. Avoiding the fate of talking about the wolf meat hot pot, the Grey Wolf proudly boasted of himself, completely ignoring the flames rising from the Red Wolf's head. You are awesome. The Red Wolf uses the Nirvana, Furious Flame Pan, and the effect is outstanding. What? The big Grey Wolf was directly smashed with a critical blow. Nosebleeds erupted like a spring, and he fell to the ground, his face full of grievances. My lady, why did you hit me? You actually escaped from the King Grassland. Then will we still be able to eat sheep in the future? Why did I marry you? What a waste. The Red Wolf burst into tears and said angrily, wife sir, I know I'm wrong. The grievance on Grey Wolf's face suddenly turned into shame, and he immediately knelt down on the ground, begging for forgiveness. HMPH, where are we going? After the Red Wolf vented, he could only accept the reality. Marrying a chicken follows a chicken, and a dog follows a dog. Who let her marry a useless person? She beat him only to hope that he can work hard. It's a pity that Grey Wolf has never done anything serious in his life. Eating sheep is the most important business of the wolf clan. My lady, there are actually sheep where we go. Maybe it's easier to catch than those cunning little sheep in Yankan. Hui Taelang licked his face. Grey Wolf always felt that he couldn't eat sheep. It wasn't his problem, but that the current little sheep was too smart and cunning, and the old little sheep were definitely not that smart. There are sheep in the place where we went. Where are they? The red wolf's eyes lit up, and he asked the grey wolf by the neck, "Hey, in the kinking grassland of the primitive era, how could I, the great grey wolf, escape? I'm just adjusting my strategy. When I rule the ancient kinking grassland, and then take the ancient wolf army to fight back, I will definitely be able to repel those devils at that time," Big Wolf said with great ambition. "Husband." Red Wolf's eyes shone with starlight. She just liked Grey Wolf's confident smile, otherwise she wouldn't have married him back then. "Hey, my wife." Big Wolf is just about to hug his wife and make him intimate. Suddenly, a pan smashed over again. Boom. "Ah, wife, why did you hit me again?" The Grey Wolf looked at the Red Wolf with suspicion. "Since you know that ancient sheep are easy to catch, why don't you hurry up?" The Red Wolf stuck Zioman's waist and said angrily, yes, I know. Big Wolf thought his wife is getting more and more moody. He forgot that pregnant women are particularly anxious, not to mention that his wife is always grumpy, and Grey Wolf also did not expect that he, who thought he had escaped by birth, saw a familiar and terrifying face in the back of the kinking grassland in the primitive era. Is it finally here? Chen looked at a magic book, and when he found that the ultimate Sirius landed through the time-space tunnel, he closed the magic book and smiled. "I've been waiting for you for a long time." He and Athena had been waiting again for a long time. "It's the devil. What's so fat?" When the Sirius landed, the Grey Wolf and the Red Wolf were terrified. As soon as they walked out of the hatch, "Why those devils that missiles, lasers, and white holes can't deal with appeared in the primitive era." "Husband, are you mistaken? We are traveling in the wrong time period." Han Taelang said, "That's right, wife. This is indeed the primitive era. You see, the wolf clan and the sheep clan on the grassland all wear animal skin clothes." Hui Taelang didn't want to be beaten, so he hurriedly defended. "Then how did these devils come here? Could it be that these devils were alive in primitive times?" Han Taelang's face was full of despair. If it was what she thought in her heart, she would encounter these devils, no matter what age. "Have you said enough?" Chen said coldly, "The people in the internet cafe are all upset, and you asked for it just now. This is not a lie. At the moment when Big Wolf escaped, all the members of the internet cafe felt that their IQ was insulted, and they also muttered about the shamelessness of Big Wolf. You said that if you run away. Before leaving, you have to say something about the ultimate murder weapon, which makes the big guys and girls of internet cafes look forward to it in vain. This feeling is as depressing as eating flies. How could they not be angry? If Big Wolf is the kind of Zhujiang who is smarter than heaven and man, then the internet cafe bosses will recognize it. But Big Wolf is a mentally retarded person who has no maximum invention ability. And they are even more unhappy. Astes, I have already said that I will discipline you for a few days. Speaking of the Ice Queen, Chen showed a sunny smile. Under his sun godness, the Grey Wolf and the Red Wolf felt incomparably warm, but behind the incomparable warmth, they sensed an incomparably coldness. "Devil, come at me. If you have anything, don't hurt my wife." Grey Wolf knew that he had nothing to do. Even if he wanted to develop a new weapon, he had no time. He immediately protected his wife, gritted his teeth, stretched out his claws, and entered the strongest state of combat readiness. "Okay, I'll come to you." After a pause, Chen shouted, "Discipline, ding." The system prompts. If you use discipline successfully, Big Wolf will temporarily lose his membership in the internet cafe. You can beat him up, pick it up with peace of mind. He won't die. Chen turned and said to Athena, "Concubine wisdom tells me that you are right." Saying that, Athena took out her 40-meter long Shinigami scythe from the void. "No, you guys are really playing." Grey Wolf's face twitched, and he was so frightened that he foamed at the mouth and passed out. But he pretended to be dead and failed to make Athena show mercy, and the consequences for a woman being angry are very serious. A burst of brutal repairs were carried out under the live broadcast of the internet cafe. On the other hand, Chen didn't participate in the behavior of beating Hui Taelang. It wasn't because he was kind, but he taught Hui Lang that he could do anything at any time. The most important thing now is to get Hui Lang to agree to do things for him. And in the Super Dimension Internet Cafe, looking at the tragic state of Big Wolf, everyone showed no mercy. Some are just curious. The cutest genius source. How did the leader of the team travel through time just now? He sacrificed a magic book and then traveled through time and space. I like Gute the most. They have been to my world before. In my world, the devil is almost omnipotent and omniscient, and it is not a problem to create and destroy the world, let alone travel through time and space, and the leader of the group has also become a devil, the strongest. The demon god has sealed the demon god's power in, but it will consume a lot of divine power just to activate it once, Misaka Makoto explained for Shinina Kuno. Shinina Kuno nodded. I'm more curious in my heart. The devil, almost omnipotent and omniscient. Interesting. Super interesting. Sure enough, the strong people in the Super Dimensional Internet Cafe are terrible, and you can't imagine it with the boundaries of her time, gender, race, etc. In her world, men are too rubbish. The only male protagonist who can drive is Mecha is also rubbish. Those men can't match her in wisdom and strength. And that's why she started the era of feminism. But Super Dimension Internet Cafe completely subverted her previous cognition. Aizen, I know that the leader of the group has gained a lot in the magic forbidden universe. Sure enough, the power of the seal can be used, but the leader seems to have no consumption. Aizen had expected Chen to be able to unleash the power of the devil in the forbidden universe, but he didn't expect that Chen would not blushed or panted after using it. In fact, Chen didn't expect to easily use the power of the devil that was sealed by the magic book of truth. May be related to Pleasant Universe. In this world, Grey Wolf can easily create all kinds of sci-fi mechanical props. Even if he has that kind of talent, what about the materials for making spaceships and remote controllers that travel through time and space? Where did these materials come from? Even if Grey Wolf can turn decay into magic, battleships also need energy, and traveling through time and space also needs terrifying energy. These energies seem to come from nothing. This is the supreme law of this universe. Therefore, Chen can easily use the power of the devil because he has adapted to the supreme law of the universe. Thanks to the super dimensional life court, it will not be negatively affected by the supreme law of the universe. If you adapt to it, you can still get its benefits. Just like Chen entered the magic forbidden universe before and became the strongest demon god directly. It's just that Aizen doesn't know this. From the point of view of smart people like him and Uchiha Madara, Shinono Shao, Chen is hiding. It takes a lot of divine power to say good things, but the truth is effortless. The leader of the team is really unfathomable. The end of Zyoshizuki, or Orochimaru. Kenneth and other newcomers finally have a certain understanding of the owner of the Super Dimensional Internet Cafe, the supreme holy place, Lihao of Lihao. At this time, Athena slapped the wolf and lifted him with a sickle and brought him to Chen. Forgive me, Lord Devil. Hui Lang begged for mercy weakly. The red wolf on the side was trembling, trying to save her husband but was powerless. How about it? Grey Wolf is very resistant to beatings. Chen said, unless you give him a fatal blow, he will be immortal. Athena was a little tired from beating herself, but she didn't expect that Big Wolf was still angry and could speak. But this is very good. The concubine thinks he is very suitable as a sandbag. Athena said lightly. Grey Wolf suddenly wanted to die, as expected. These people are devils. Grey Wolf, you heard it too. If you don't want to be beaten by her as a sandbag for the rest of your life, then sign this. Chen directly used the artifact of truth to create a contract. And the content of the contract disclosed, but it shocked the internet cafe bosses again. Temporary worker contract, employer, Chen. Temporary worker, Grey Wolf. Contract content, experiments for the employer for free. Jyoku's evolution experiment on gods, world tree evolution experiment, proposal for chakra god tree seed transplantation to the world tree. These 3 experimental studies undoubtedly shocked all the internet cafes. Chapter 154. Travelers take the initiative to send them to the door. Aizen, Jyoku, the world tree, the seed of the chakra tree. It turns out that this is the plan of the leader of the group, and it really is a great plan. Aizen's heart is worthy of being the leader of the group, and his ambition has exceeded his imagination. Uchiha Madara, the leader of the group, has the seed of the god tree. How could I not know? Kurama, Uchiha Madara, there are so many things you don't know. Kurama entered the internet cafe earlier than Uchiha Madara, and Chen promised to sell him the Tree of Gods, provided that his membership points are enough points studying modestly Orochimaru, the chakra tree. It sounds very special. Orochimaru in this period did not fully understand the Uchiha family, so there was only a vague guess about the relationship between the chakra tree and the tailed beast, and it was difficult to guess the cutest genius. Source, although I don't understand it, those 3 research plans are very impressive. Shinono Bundle does not know what the seeds of Gyoku and Chakra are, but she still knows what the world tree is. The poisonous tongue is not my fault. Who said no? If it succeeds, it will completely change the world. Zaishizi felt that the evolution of the world tree would definitely change the world. But the seeds of the chakra tree were trivial matters, and this is also one of the reasons why Chen wants to sign a contract with Big Wolf. Big Wolf is a wolf. 053 Wolf King. He believes in the idea of the law of the jungle, and does not like to tell the truth. He has repeatedly backed out in the plot point. If simply giving Big Wolf a bunch of mutton can do it, then he is not Big Wolf, and what Chen wants to study for Grey Wolf is a world tree. If there is no contract, it is possible for Grey Wolf to become the creator god of this world point. Although Big Wolf couldn't threaten Chen, even if he was the god of creation, it was enough to destroy the ecological balance of the world point, and it is also possible that Grey Wolf will do something reckless when he becomes the god of creation point. The mission of Superdimension Internet Cafe will never destroy the world, and all missions are based on world peace point. And with the mentally retarded character of Grey Wolf, without this profound lesson, he himself would not respect Chen like normal internet cafe members, and obey Chen's orders. Therefore, it is necessary to sign a contract with Grey Wolf. I finally saved my life. Grey Wolf hugged his wife and said happily. It's not a big deal for him to be a part-time worker without pay. As for escape, that is impossible. You can't escape through time and space, and it's useless to escape anywhere. It's just that I, the great Grey Wolf King, I will be reduced to a cat job in the future. Grey Wolf thought sadly in his heart, want to eat lamb skewers. At this time, Chen seemed to see through the mind of Big Wolf and said with a smile, mutton skewed? Grey Wolf and Red Wolf's eyes lit up, and their saliva was drooling. They fought to death in King Grassland and Yankin, not for a bunch of mutton skewers. Follow me, I won't need sheep in the future. There will be endless mutton skewers every day. Chen got straight to the point. Really? Grey Wolf wiped the saliva from his face and asked with great concentration, we have signed a contract. I don't need to lie to you, just work hard. Chen patted the Grey Wolf on the shoulder and then entered the primitive sheep village with Athena. In the sheep village, he found a young sheep as beautiful as the beautiful sheep, who happened to be an orphan, so he explained to the sheep village, and then holding the return to the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. The main world, a Superdimensional Internet Cafe, future, this is for your pet. Chen handed the young lamb to Hatsune Miku. Hatsune Miku nodded happily, and then carried the lamb to give her a bath. The girls of the internet cafe, such as Yan Lingji, Zaishizi, Aang Lily, Sage Megumi, Rauha, Misaka Makoto, Alice is the first time to see a wise lamb, and it is so cute that they are all surrounded by it. Looking at Chen, she was speechless for a while, and sure enough, girls have no resistance to cute little animals. Even Aqua likes small animals. However, Eluoheo, Athena, and Acids are much better in this respect, and neither like nor dislike small animals. Congratulations, the leader of the group has gained a right-hand man. At this time, Aizen in the internet cafe said with some envy. Not only him, Zairosuke, Kenes, and Orochimaru all envied Chen. With such a scientific research assistant as Big Wolf, there was basically nothing that could not be researched. But they can only be envious, because only Chen can subdue Big Wolf. Otherwise, scientists other than Aizen are no match for Big Wolf's means. Although Aizen is stronger than Grey Wolf, he can't find Grey Wolf across time and space. Maybe Grey Wolf will develop a weapon against Shinigami. If he is not careful, he may suffer a loss. It's a right-hand man, right? Yi Chen nodded lightly, admitting that Big Wolf was his subordinate. Point different from ordinary internet cafe members. He will cover Big Wolf in the future. Point. Although Big Wolf does things for Yi Chen for free, so is it not the case for all the members in the internet cafe. Point. In fact, some internet cafe members are still envious of Grey Wolf. If Grey Wolf does his best for Yi Chen, it will not be difficult for Grey Wolf to become the supreme god of the universe in the future. Point. And don't forget, Yi Chen is the master here. Although Yi Chen is polite to the members of the internet cafe, it does not change the fact that he is an authority. Wang. He can decide the fate of every member of the internet cafe. Ding dong. Suddenly Chen frowned because a text message popped up on the phone. Brother Yi Chen, I'm going to Jiangnan City. A text message plus a naughty expression plus a note on the text message. Yi Chen was suddenly taken aback. Why did she come? Brother, what's the matter? Luoheo instinctively asked with some alertness. Haha, nothing. I'm going out to pick up someone. Yi Chen smiled shyly. Brother, your expression is very suspicious. Luoheo squinted his eyes flashing with a sharp light, not looking at his brother, but like a cheating husband. My concubine's wisdom tells me that the person you want to pick up is not easy. Athena sneered as she saw through the truth. Just a friend from childhood to adulthood. Yi Chen faced the strange eyes of the two goddesses and had to explain, I'm sure it's a lovely girl. Luoheo asserted, the wisdom of the concubine agrees with you. Athena nodded, if you're cute, I really can't refute it. Yi Chen heard that a woman's intuition is terrible, but she didn't expect a goddess intuition to be even more terrible. Brother Yi Chen, I'll be at your door for a little while. No surprises. At this time, outside the internet cafe, a crisp and pleasant lolly sound floated in. Yi Chen was stunned for a moment, not expecting her to come so quickly. And when he turned around, his eyes narrowed. The woman next to her is. Yi Chen discovered the noble purple-clothed woman who came with Utamaran. Now Yi Chen's realm is at the 6th order invincible level. He can also foresee the future by seeing and hearing, and listening to the voice of all things can almost be said to have insight into everything in the world. If the former Shia stood in front of him again, he could easily see through her identity as a rebirth, and the identity of a purple-clothed woman in front of Yi Chen was almost clear at a glance. With two souls and mysterious power, it may be cheat, then her identity is about to come out. At Transmigrator, travelers take the initiative to come to the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Does this mean that there is a way to heaven, and she doesn't go, and there is no door to hell? Does she break in? Chapter 155 Transmigrators? Aliens. But it's not quite right. If she is a traveler, she has come to the door of the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Why is there no task or system prompt? Yi Chen dragged his chin a little strangely. In the missions he has performed, the Travisers and the Reborns are all enemies. Among them, Ryan, Blackbird, and Ito Cheng are the Travisers, and Ji Wuai is the Reborn, and they all have repression missions, but Xia and the noble woman in purple in front of her had no task. Is it because they are beautiful? No. Superdimensional internet cafes will not be so superficial. Is another reason. Is it because they are harmless? Or because they didn't do things that would destroy the world and disrupt the balance of the world? Well, very likely. Yi Chen pondered in his heart for a while and decided not to reveal the identity of the concubine's transmigrator for the time being. He quietly observed her, and maybe he could find some interesting things. Thinking like this, Yi Chen said to Luozi and Athena, I'll chat with her first. Will you come? Luoheo and Athena shook their heads. Although they had some sympathy for Yi Chen, a young tame, they were all powerful girls, you can see it, and would not deliberately target Yi Chen's relatives and friends, so it's better not to disturb Yi Chen's reminiscence. They are not interested in the Shura field or something, but if the other party provokes the Shura field first, then they will naturally accompany them to the end. Okay. You guys will have a party at the internet cafe first. Seeing that Luog and Athena were so knowledgeable, Yi Chen couldn't help but praised her heart, as expected of her sister who has lived for 200 years, the goddess of thousands of years. She is so sensible. Then, Yi Chen walked to the door of the internet cafe and said, why are you here? You don't have to go to class. Does your family know? What? Of course people came to you because they were worried about you. What happened recently in Jiangnan City? Don't you have any self-awareness? If it wasn't for your aunt saying that you were fine, they would have come a week ago. At the entrance of the internet cafe, there was a crisp lolly sound, and she looked a little weird, but also had the temperament of a fairy goddess. The girl with silver double ponytails, who was the same height as Hatsune Miku, pouted and said angrily, "Point, this cute girl is Yi Chen's young tame, Yiling Meng." On the other hand, the concubine, the sweet friend beside Ryumu, was a senior from one of her academies. She came from a prominent background, and her extravagance did not look like a mortal point, and the most terrifying thing is that she is young and her realm is very high among the awakened ones, even higher than the genius Yiling Meng. Ryumu's strength has been hidden for many years, and she still knows my aunt. It seems that my aunt was hinting to me before that she is not a girl with a simple background. Yi Chen looked at Yiling Meng at the door and murmured in his heart, Yi Chen didn't wake up before, so he naturally couldn't see through Yiling Meng's strength. Now, it's impossible for Yiling Meng's silly girl to pretend to be weak and cute in front of him. Of course, the current Yiling Meng is indeed very weak to Yi Chen, and she is still cute and cute. And she was so worried about herself. Yi Chen was still very moved. After all, the two grew up together and had a relationship for more than 10 years. When she was a child, she even shouted that she wanted to be her daughter-in-law when she grew up. But Yi Chen didn't take it seriously. He is not as unscrupulous as the Yan Emperor Zhao Huahuo next door, who has been a man of 2 generations, even attacked a 4-year-old girl. Yi Chen is still very disciplined, and he never did anything excessive to Yiling Meng when he was a child. HMPH, brother Yi Chen, won't you let me in? By the way, this internet cafe is so amazing, I can't even get through it. Yiling Meng pushed the internet cafe. With her void attribute, she couldn't pass through. It was amazing. On the bright side, she is a rare void attribute awakener. The void attribute is not an ordinary space attribute, but the sublimation power of the power of space, which is an attribute closest to the void attribute. But it is completely different from Yi Chen's void attribute, which is not really fully awakened and has no power at all. The initial awakening of the void attribute gave her amazing combat power. How can your brother's internet cafe be simple? If you can come in, I will give you a big gift. Ask for flowers. Yi Chen originally wanted to open the door to let them in, but after thinking about it, he changed his mind and teased them. Looking at Yiling Meng and the purple-clothed girl who is suspected of being a traveler. What means do you have? Is there an enchantment? I'll try. The concubine stretched out her flawless jasper-like slender weed and touched the door of the internet cafe. After the system information prompt bar showed that it was the maximum enchantment level, she suddenly took a breath. Hi. The barrier of maximum level. Just kidding. How did this internet cafe be destroyed later? Is there a hidden plotline here? The concubine was shocked, and she thought of the early Wang family annihilation incident, the second undead natural disaster that should have occurred a year later, and the inexplicable frost natural disaster a while ago. It seems that the plot has been messed up, but the main storyline has not changed. The Holy Emperor of Nothingness is still awakened, and the world is still saved. Even us alien players can't change this fact. The concubine looked at Yi Chen silently. As long as there was a bug like Yi Chen that turned things around, everything would have a chance of winning. Of course, those two women are also essential Corky health. However, when Fear was thinking about these things in her heart, she didn't know that Yi Chen's voice had been spied on by Yi Chen, an alien player. Yi Chen frowned secretly, looking at the purple-clothed woman in front of him again. In his heart. She knows the plot, but judging from the content in her heart, she is not a transmigrator. Moreover, she has 2 souls in one body. She is not reborn, but resides in this body. The relationship is very harmonious. The 2 souls get along well, and do not devour the other. It is similar to the peaceful coexistence between the dual personalities of Muta games. Powerful contract. Unusually, the player Tianyuan suddenly upgraded the dimension crack, beat monsters to upgrade, and awakened his attributes. Is it? Yi Chen suddenly thought of a possibility that the main world he traveled through turned out to be superior. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. we cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 156 Creator, Apocalypse. My main world is actually an online game world. This is the boldest guess that came out of Yi Chen's mind. Although the main world is incomparably real, there are magical elements on the basis of reality. Yi Chen had always thought that this was a magical world with revived spiritual energy, so it was no surprise that there were more magical elements. It can be analyzed from the spiritual monologue of the purple-clothed woman plus world setting. Yi Chen's main world is really like a magical online game world point. Although they are all in the real world, it is not surprising that the stories of this world are novels, animations, movies, and games in other worlds. Therefore, Yi Chen felt that this was not a big deal, but he was still a little surprised that he had traveled to an online game world. I guess that Reborn Xia doesn't know that this world is an online game world, right? 5-7 Yi Chen knew that Xia was a rebirth, but she was just an NPC reborn in an online game point. But you can ask the purple-clothed woman in front of her if she recognizes Xia. This is very important. If knowing things proves that there is this plot in the game, the world will follow the main plot all day long. If you don't know it, then the main storyline in the game can't be used as a reference. Well, I can try it out. Yi Chen hesitated in his heart, looked at the purple-clothed woman, and asked with a smile, "Your friend, Ria Meng, looks familiar, and looks a bit like a woman named Xia." Xia. The face is familiar. Is he talking to him? Hearing this, the concubine was taken aback and looked a little embarrassed. She didn't know any Xia. She only knew that host Mengfei had no friendship with the Void Holy Emperor, although in the future, she had a mysterious night with the Void Holy Emperor in a certain dungeon secret realm. But now it is impossible to know each other. As one of the designers of this magical online game, Fear knows most of the plot in her heart. Her real name is Mengfei, a genius programmer. Because she is a workaholic, even if she looks good, has a great figure, and has her own Isan temperament, she is still single at the age of 28. After staying up late at work, she died suddenly, and her soul was given to an NPC in the virtual reality online game she developed, Mengfei. In the early stage of the character setting, he was the senior sister of the Holy Emperor of Nothingness, and later became a mysterious lover with an ambiguous relationship. This lover setting was added by herself, now that she saw the Holy Emperor of Nothingness standing in front of her with her own eyes, and she seemed to be familiar with her. Mengfei's heart was quite flustered. Is this a trick to herself? And Mengfei didn't know at all. The thought flashing in her heart now really sold her details. Creator. Yi Chen spit out these three words. In a sense, Mengfei is the creator of this world. The word creator impressed Yi Chen because see is such an anticlimactic animation. The Junji altar in it has made Yi Chen's memory especially deep. He is too beautiful, too strong, and his voice is too charming. In the definition of Junji, humans who create two-dimensional characters, but their creators are gods, and the human world is the world of gods. Creators can strengthen their own two-dimensional characters, but they only need the power of recognition, that is, the power of belief. It's just that Mengfei is only a special player in the game now, and she cannot strengthen her game character by adding settings. Mengfei. Besides, Yi Chen doesn't think the world can be influenced by the creator either. Through Mengfei's thoughts, she found that she did not know Xia, the reborn, which proved that the world did not develop according to Mengfei's set plot. Mengfei just got the apocalypse by accident, and thus created such a game. She never thought that there is a world that is exactly the same as the game setting. As for the alien player, she said in her heart, it should refer to the player who will enter this world in the future. Yi Chen guessed secretly in his heart. If those alien players enter the main world, it is bound to have a certain impact on the main world. However, it has no effect on Yi Chen. Players can upgrade to the later stage, which is the level of big and small horses. Few of them can reach the level of Vulcan and Poseidon, and they cannot be compared with superdimensional internet cafes. Maybe the arrival of those aliens can bring some fun and benefits to Yi Chen. Thinking of this, Yi Chen decided to continue to wait and see what happened. but at this moment, Yi Ling Meng pouted, with tears in his eyes. Brother Wu Wu, you've turned bad. Yi Chen looked blank. When did he become bad? How could he not know? The concubine was also full of doubts, wondering how Ri Meng saw this. You obviously have someone else, and you still look up to the concubine's sister, and want to strike up a conversation with her. You were not like this before, Yi Ling Meng said with a snort. This little girl turned out to be jealous. Yi Chen and the concubine were speechless for a while at the moment. They were innocent. At least they were innocent now. However, Fear is a little guilty, because in the plot she designed, Meng Fear does have a little bit of a mistress. It was Yi Ling Meng who knew Yi Chen first, but Meng Fear completed the home run first. What nonsense are you talking about? Yi Chen was quite calm. No matter if Meng Fear had anything to do with him in the future, at least he now only treats Meng Fear as an ordinary person. Moreover, his relationship with Yi Ling Meng is also very simple at present. He is not Zhao Huohuo. He was developed by Lali Play, HMPH. I'm not talking nonsense. Sister Fear is blushing. You two must be tricky in the future. Yi Ling Meng was usually innocent and cute, but in this regard, she was exceptionally keen, and saw through Nua's guilty conscience at a glance. Nizzy, did you watch too many romance dramas, and think wildly all day? And if you can't get in, if you don't, I'm closed. Yi Chen pinched Yi Ling Meng's nose, and then made an expression, like I don't care, if you make trouble again, it hurts. I can't say it again, this time they are here to protect you. Yi Ling Meng touched her nose, and muttered with a red face, well, let's not bother. At this moment, two women came up from the stairwell of the internet cafe, and by coincidence, it was Xia and Tianyuan. Something? Yi Chen knew that they had been on standby near the internet cafe, and because they were from her aunt, she did not expel them. 3.7 Quote Master, have you forgotten what the god of destruction promised? Tianyuan said things directly without going through his brain. Xia's face suddenly turned, and she looked at Tianyuan's mouth with contempt, and she really had no brains. God of destruction, Ryumu and concubine were stunned. Dan looked at Yi Chen in surprise. Brother Yi Chen / the Holy Emperor of Nothingness, is he actually related to the god of destruction? PS. Explain. This main world is the real world, but Otherworld has a game that has exactly the same settings as the main world. This is similar to the protagonist crossing into the game world of Warcraft, but because the protagonist is there, the plot develops or something. It's completely different from the game script. Chapter 157 Yi Ling Meng, my brother can't be so powerful. Shock, Ryumu and concubine stared at Yi Chen, especially Ryumu. Those lovely big eyes seemed to want to see through Yi Chen. The Terminator of the Frost Scourge, Kakarot of the Fire God Cult, the Superdimensional God Level Guardian, God of Destruction Third. Her brother is actually related to that big man. I almost forgot the little princess of the Yi family, and the long daughter of the Meng family is also there. Tianyuan came back to his senses at this time, extremely regretful. One accidentally exposed the identity of the sun, but they are all friends of the sun, so there should be no problem. I really have you, Sister Yan. Xia gave Tianyuan a sullen look, but she was slightly relieved. Fortunately, it is fortunate that these two, the childhood sweetheart and lover of the Void Saint Emperor, if it was someone else, she would have to consider whether or not to want it or not. Silenced. At this moment, Meng Fear was also looking at Xia, and she was curious. This is Xia. She is like me. It has a kind of elegant temperament and intellectual beauty, but is it really similar? Meng Fear didn't think Xia was a bit like her, mainly because she didn't notice. There was a kind of self-confidence between her and her eyebrows, a well-planned and unhurried self-confidence. She didn't know that they all had prophetic plugins. Although they were not at all accurate about Yi Chen 20, they were quite accurate in other matters. At this moment, Yi Chen spoke up. Ryumu and the others are my friends. It's okay to know my identity, not to mention that I don't plan to hide my identity in the superdimensional religion now. Yi Chen could see that Tianyuan was unintentional, so he did not pursue this matter, and now, Yi Chen is already at the 6th order invincible level, infinitely close to the 7th order. It's time to mix in the circle of the strong as Yi Chen. Brother Yi Chen, are you a member of the superdimensional religion? Yi Ling Meng couldn't help but ask at this time. Yes, and my brother's status is not low. The god of destruction will salute me when he sees me. Yi Chen said with a slight smile. This is not a lie. Quan Wangdu is only a temporary member of the internet cafe. What is a mere god of destruction? Hiss. In an instant, Yi Ling Meng and the concubine both gasped. Even Xia and Tang Yan, who knew Yi Chen's status in the superdimensional religion for a long time, were immediately stunned. The god of destruction has to salute when he sees it. How noble is the identity of the sun? No. It's impossible. My brother can't be that good. Yi Ling Meng couldn't believe it, looked at the concubine and asked, sister, do you think I'm dreaming? Yi Ling Meng was still full of energy and shouted to protect Yi Chen and protect her brother for a lifetime. But it turned out that she was the one who was to be protected and she couldn't accept it. Ria Meng, you are not dreaming. Since he dares to say it, it must be true. Fear also didn't want to believe it in her heart, but thinking about it, she thought it was very reasonable. The superdimensional spiritual religion was too mysterious and unpredictable. Moreover, he has a unique vision. He actually took a fancy to the Holy Emperor of Nothingness and took him for his own use early, which is very amazing. Xia came back to her senses after a brief shock and had the same thoughts as the concubine. As everyone knows, the superdimensional spiritual religion is just a force of Yi Chen's casual words. It's not that Yi Chen was used by the gods for his own use, but the gods are just a tool for Yi Chen to collect beliefs. Brother Yi Chen, are you lying to me? Yi Ling Meng stared at Yi Chen with suspicious eyes and asked. She wanted to make sure that if brother Yi Chen really didn't need her protection, her heart would be somewhat hit. She has practiced very hard in the past few years, and the main reason is that Yi Chen's nihilistic attributes cannot grow, so she practiced so desperately. But if it is true, then she will be really happy for her brother. When did I deceive you? That's all. Let you see the power of the superdimensional religion. Come here, Astes. Yi Chen smiled and called to the internet cafe. Yes, my lord. In the internet cafe, the moment Astes heard Yi Chen's call, he flashed behind Yi Chen. Brother, who is she? The moment he saw Astes, Yi Ling Meng couldn't sit still. Astes is very beautiful, which makes her a little envious and jealous. Could it be that this is her brother's girlfriend, which makes her very unhappy, and she doesn't even tell her? Therefore, Yi Ling Meng was suddenly full of hostility towards Astes. This is a super formidable enemy. The girls in the audience are all beautiful, but they don't have the queen temperament of Astes, so most of them are a little worried. Only Tang Yan is more confident or heartless, thinking too much. I'm the Lord's maiden guard. Without waiting for Yi Chen's introduction, Astes smiled and confessed the relationship between the two to Yi Ling Meng, with a hint of provocation on his face. Brother Yi Chen, is this true? Yi Ling Meng's big eyes suddenly became pitiful, like a cat abandoned by its owner. Yi Chen was speechless. What was his sister doing? No kidding. Yi Chen patted Yi Ling Meng's head and reassured, I still have business, the superdimensional spiritual religion, and I will explain it to you later. Aha. Yi Ling Meng was treated so kindly by her brother, and she lowered her head a little embarrassedly, forgetting all the maids and doubts. Master, are you calling me? Acids asked at this time. The two horse masters have no sincerity. Get up around Jiangnan City and clear all unnecessary people. With that, Yi Chen activated the protection of the military gods left in Astes, allowing her to obtain the early 6th rank strength, as ordered. Astes nodded, and after strengthening her, a cold air burst out, spreading out from the windows, opened by the internet cafe, and gathered precisely towards the periphery of Jiangnan City. Rumbling. Suddenly, icebergs spit up on the ground, sealing the entire Jiangnan City in a frozen kingdom. Wow. At this moment, Xia, Ryamu, and the others were stunned again. Their strength had already surpassed the 5th order awakened. A maid is so powerful. The superdimensional spiritual religion is going to heaven. When you see it, go back and tell them that this is our territory, and people from the awakened guild are no longer welcome here. If you don't want to die, you should get away. Yi Chen snorted at Xia and Tang Yan. Yi Chen thought that Dan Xiaoma would personally come to the internet cafe rooftop to apologize and make compensation. But I didn't expect that the big horse would find someone from my aunt, to ask 057 for love point, but so what? At the beginning, Chen planned to save the 800,000 disaster victims together with Aqua. Even if he could not get the power of faith, it would not be of much benefit to Chen, and he would save those people, as a human race, to do something for their own race. There is no need to care too much. Although Chen is not a great saint, but the righteousness of the human race, Chen still recognizes it in his heart. Just because of the slander of the Vulcan Pope, Dao and Xiaoma doubted his intentions in their hearts, which made Chen very upset. When others suspect that their purpose is impure, saving people without compensation is not righteousness, it is a fool. If what you do is taken for granted by others, or it is a means of bribing people's hearts, or there are other plans, then why do you still do it? Anyway, Chen won't be cheap. If they have the ability, they go to save people. Don't ask for help. In fact, the two kings of big and small horses wanted to apologize in person, and prepared a huge apology, but something happened later, so that they dared not participate in this matter again, and it was inferred that the queen and the superdimensional gods, there are some clues in the teaching. So I begged us to come to you. Xia knew that Chen was angry and quickly explained. Something happened? Are they threatened by the gods of Vulcan? Chen snorted. Forehead. Xia was stunned, but she didn't expect to be caught in a sentence by Chen. It seems that I really got it right. Those gods are dying again. Chen smiled coldly, his eyes flickering coldly. Chapter 158, the upcoming second Tianyuan Mutation. The gods of Vulcan have been blocking Chen's way, and Chen naturally won't keep them for the new year. It's just that those gods came from the cracks of different dimensions, and have not been fully resurrected so far. Even if Chen wanted to kill them, he would not be able to start. Point after a pause, Chen asked, aren't those gods waiting to be resurrected? Why do they dare to threaten Dao and Xiaoma? Dao and Xiaoma's influence is so great, aren't they afraid of threatening their resurrection plan? We don't know. That either. Xia shook his head. The plot has been disrupted. In the original history, although Vulcan was the first god to be resurrected, the means he used were very despicable, which was the conspiracy that Lord Kakarot broke last time. Resurrect believers with the source of God, harvest faith, recycle the source, and devour believers' lives incidentally. But now that plan has been revealed, it is unlikely to succeed again. After all, the big horse and the senior officials of Shenzhou are not all idiots. You don't know either? Chen shook his head, greatly disappointed. It seemed that this rebirth was really useless. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm being rejected. Facing Chen's disappointed eyes, Xia muttered in her heart. What about you, Miss Mengjia? Do you have any information? Chen looked at Mengfear and asked bluntly, why did you ask me? Mengfear was taken aback. She really didn't understand Chen's attitude towards her, as if she knew her very well. Even knew it like the back of her hand. Shouldn't I ask you? Chen looked at her and smiled mysteriously. Mengfear was speechless and thought to herself, does her host really have a special relationship with Chen? It's just that she doesn't know. Suddenly I feel that my life is so hard. I stayed up late and died suddenly. I hadn't been in love before my death. When I woke up, I found a magical game world developed by myself. I thought I could follow the plot, and then the scenery rose. Let the script go. Vulcan's conspiracy was broken ahead of time, resulting in the inability to accurately estimate the subsequent plot. There is also hyperdimensional divine religion, divine soldiers descended from the sky, awesome gods. Such a powerful force completely destroys the balance. Now even the Holy Emperor of Nothingness and concubine Meng have an unknown behind the scenes relationship. Looking at Chen's smiling eyes, this big bad wolf won't come to her at night. But she's not ready yet. You don't know either? A woman. Chen sighed sighingly. That rebirth is useless, and this soul-wearing girl is useless. It seems that she can only find out the gods by herself. Don't look at me like that. Mengfear is a strong woman. Seeing Chen's contemptuous eyes, she felt a burst of unwillingness in her heart. After a pause, she said, I don't know what conspiracy Vulcan has, but I know the power of Vulcan. Cough. Then it seems that you have some use. Chen nodded and glanced at Xia inadvertently. Xia lowered her head. Her heart was hurt. To be honest, she didn't understand the power of Vulcan, she only knew a rough outline, and now the plot was so messy, how dare she talk nonsense. In case she made a mistake, she would be pitted against the Holy Emperor of Nothingness. Who will save the world in the future? Hush hush hush, that's not right. Brother Chen just knows about the gods. Sister Fear, how can you know the god of fire better than Brother Chen? At this time, Yi Lingmeng asked curiously. Xia and Tianyuan were also awakened by a word, and looked at Mengfear. Her hidden talent is back. Gosh, don't tell this secret. Without giving Mengfear a chance to explain, Yi Chen helped her, and of course it wasn't a lie. Mengfear's abilities in past and present lives are all apocalypse. Really yes. Sister Fear. Yi Lingmeng muttered, Mengfear nodded and looked at Yi Chen with some surprise. She was already convinced that Yi Chen had a deep relationship with her host. She gritted her silver teeth secretly, and cursed, "Host, before you fell asleep, how many secrets did you tell Yi Chen about me? Damn girl, she actually cheated on me with her lover. When you wake up, you must settle accounts with you." Apocalypse. What a terrifying ability. Mengfear is very mysterious in the historical records. She originally thought she was the lover of the Void Saint Emperor, but now it seems that it is because of this. Hearing Yi Chen's explanation, she understood in her heart, and felt that she had not been reborn in vain. At least I know a lot of secrets, such as the relationship between the Empress sisters and the Holy Emperor of Nothingness, and the special abilities of concubine Meng. Then Brother Yi Chen, please explain why you know Fear Sister so well. You never know me like this. At this time, Yi Lingmeng changed the subject, and turned to Yi Chen. In this question, Yi Chen was really a little hard to explain, so he could only look at Mengfear, hoping she would give a reasonable explanation. HMPH, as expected, men are big pigs hooves. Mengfear saw Yi Chen, another her concubine. She even brazenly asked her for help. She didn't know anything. What explanation would she give? Little princess of the Yi family, don't forget what your brother's identity is. He wants to know some simple things. He doesn't have a deep understanding of it, so he just doesn't want to disturb your privacy. Xia made a clearance for Yi Chen at this time, which made Yi Chen realize that this woman was still useful at the critical moment. Is that so? Okay. Yi Lingmeng also knew that Brother Yi Chen, who couldn't be forced, was too impatient, otherwise he would hate him. Mom said that if a girl wants to capture a man's heart, she must not be a little bitchy, and she must be generous. But how to be generous? Yi Lingmeng thought to herself. She had to find someone to ask. When she went back. Thinking like this, Yi Lingmeng had no intention of staying in Jiangnan City, and wanted to rush back to the imperial capital. After all, Brother Yi Chen didn't need her protection now, and she ran away from home without the knowledge of her family. Some trouble. Waiting for the concubine's sister to tell Brother Yi Chen the information about the Vulcan. She will go back tomorrow, but she must be optimistic about Brother Yi Chen tonight. That maid aesthese is too threatening. I always felt that the eyes of this maid looking at Brother Yi Chen were not right. Full of possessive eyes, as if she wanted to eat Brother Yi Chen whole. Can we talk about business now? Yi Chen said, while looking at the concubine. After the resurrection of the Vulcan, the level is higher than that of the 5th level awakened, and there are 3 major powers: the flame of immortality, the fire of the sun god, and the black flame of hell. After a pause, Mengfear said, the flame of immortality relies on burning belief, immortality and immortality. As long as there is belief, he will not really die, and the more the power of belief, the faster he will be resurrected. This is a reason why he wants a lot of power of faith, and the reason why he is resurrected faster than other gods. The last time you organized the fire extinguishing god sector, do it right, but it was not thorough enough, and he still has Taoism left, and the divine fire of the sun and the black flame of hell are the divine fire of the light attribute, and the divine fire of the dark attribute. The divine fire of the sun has the temperature of the sun and burns all things. The black fire of hell cannot be extinguished, devouring the soul power of mortals. The 3 powers are not weak. This Vulcan is a little capable. Yi Chen nodded lightly. Judging from these 3 powers, many gods of disobedience are not opponents of the god of fire. It is estimated that the god of disobedience, Lizao, at the level of Athena, the god of war, and the king of gods can defeat that god. A little patience. Mengfear's face twitched fiercely. Vulcan was also at an upper middle level among the gods. She didn't expect Chen to despise him so much, but that's right. He is the holy emperor of nothingness. Thinking like this, Mengfear felt excusable. The talent of the Void Saint Emperor is too terrifying, and it is the nemesis of all gods and demons. Moreover, the birth of the Void Holy Emperor was an accident. It was a magical character that appeared on the computer as soon as she woke up, and even she was unable to analyze the talent of the Void Holy Emperor, and her sudden death could not solve this mystery. But I still have a question. Now he can't absorb the power of faith, and can't be resurrected by the flame of power and immortality, and what does this have to do with him preventing the Big and the Pony from saving people? Chen felt that whether he could save the 800,000 victims now had nothing to do with the resurrection of the Vulcan, but the Vulcan still had to stop it, which must have a deep meaning. Indeed, it is not Vulcan's style to do harm to others, unless Xia and Mengfear blinked at the same time and exclaimed, unless the second Tianyuan mutation is about to begin. Chapter 159 The Ragnarok of the Gods, the Goddess's Help, the second sub-Tianyuan mutation? Chen frowned. That disaster 18 years ago changed the world, and now another doomsday level natural disaster is about to break out. And Vulcan is planning to take advantage of this mutation. Brother Chen, the second Tianyuan mutation. Remember that this news has been passed on for a long time. This news is still one of the 3 major urban legends. Meng murmured at this time. Urban legend? Remember, there is an urban legend. It is said that a mysterious 4th order awakener fought a tie with a pony, and the two sides sank an island. Is this true? Chen remembered this, and asked the greedy concubine Xia. I don't know, but I don't think this kind of legend is true. Mengfear didn't have an impression, because she didn't have an impression at all, so she thought it was fake. I know some, but the Empress told me. Xia said, hee, let me tell you. Tianyuan angrily showed his sense of existence, and rushed to reply. That mysterious 4th order awakener is awesome. He has attributes such as gold, wood, water, fire, earth, light, dark, wind and thunder, time, space, and spirit. In addition to the attribute of nothingness, then an awakener has almost all attributes. And this mysterious awakener didn't draw the pony, but beat the pony. No, the pony is the 5th order king. Meng said in surprise, it's not that the pony is weak, the 4th order powerhouse has already awakened the attribute field. If there are more than a dozen attribute fields, it would be more than just hanging the pony for me. Chen said lightly. The first team leader of the Whitebird Pirates, Phoenix, is the top tier 4 strength. Imagine if he ate shock fruit, dark fruit, sparkling fruit, thunder fruit, frozen fruit, mera fruit, hurricane fruit, soul fruit, and more. Sometimes 057 empty fruit. Each fruit develops to the state of awakening and uses these powers perfectly without conflict. What kind of terrifying power would it be? Seconds of Admiral are not a problem at all. In this way, that mysterious awakener can't control his own power very well. Such talent is still poor. Meng said, there are more than 10 kinds of attributes. I don't know how many years it will take to cultivate to the 4th rank. How long do you think it will take for the 5th rank? Chen pinched Meng's nose and smiled. Each attribute needs a lot of time to run in. Do you really think that everyone can play like Chen to level 6 in a week? Hee. What brother Chen said is. Meng smiled sweetly. After a pause, Chen got down to business. Since the urban legends are all true, the second Tianyuan mutation must be true. But what is the plan of the Vulcan? After hearing this, Mengfear sorted out her thoughts. Cade, the scale of the second Tianyuan mutation is very large, and the territory of human beings will be reduced to 1/10, and there will be a large number of different dimensional cracks and 5th order monsters, and the most important thing is that there are too many casualties. The number of undead will increase sharply, and many gods may be able to devour souls. At the same time, it is also the time when human beings most need faith and yearn for the redemption of gods. The projection of the gods will be heavy. The best time to come to the world and harvest the faith. In that case, the projection of the gods appears in the center of the sudden burst of Tianyuan, which is undoubtedly the best choice, and no one can predict the location of the Tianyuan mutation. The only way is to sacrifice the souls of living people in blood before the outbreak, break through the cracks in different dimensions, and artificially create the center of the outbreak. I understand. Point after listening to Meng Fear's analysis, Chen smiled coldly. Simply put, Jiangnan City is the target chosen by the gods. It can destroy Jiangnan City, attack the superdimensional religion, and harvest the beliefs of nearby cities, harming others and benefiting oneself. So why not do it? What a wicked plan. Very well, it seems that the gods want to experience that twilight of the gods. Chen's killing intent was rolling in his heart. He wanted that Vulcan and all the gods involved in this matter, not to survive, not to die. Master, when the time comes, I beg to fight the gods. Astes said coldly. She will never let those people go. If she dares to attack the master's territory, even if it is a god, she dares to challenge them and leave them with unforgettable pain, there will be a chance. After a pause, Chen said, time for the second Tianyuan mutation. I don't know the exact time. Xia shook her head. 2 moons are on the same day. Xiangao eats the sun. Meng Fear said she didn't know the exact time, but before the opening, there would be such a vision of heaven and earth. Double moons are on the same day. Do the Tengu eat the sun? Chen tried to calculate the celestial phenomena with the alchemy fingers of the god's layer world, but he did not expect to succeed all of a sudden. The time is 5 o'clock in the afternoon in 3 days. Chen was a little surprised, not expecting the time interval to be so close. Brother Chen, when did you learn to deduce? Ling Meng asked curiously. Destiny attribute, that is the sublimation talent of the soul, and it is the same level as her void talent. Destiny is similar to Apocalypse division, but destiny is to deduce the future by oneself. Apocalypse is a revelation from God. One is active and the other is passive, and the effect is also very different. The future deduced by oneself has a lot of consumption, and the picture of the future is incomplete. So the apocalypse will basically not go wrong. This is nothing. Chen said lightly, although it was said lightly. In fact, this secret technique of calculating fate is worth 1000 member points, and the success rate is not 100%. But for Chen, who now has more than 100,000 member points, it is only a drop in the bucket. Don't say it. Don't say it. Yiling, cat, pouted. It is estimated that there may be a goddess of fate in the superdimensional religion. Yiling Meng, Xia, and Fear all guessed like this. Ling Meng, you should stay here for the past 3 days. There is a superdimensional spiritual barrier here, and no one can shake it. Chen thought about it, and said. The second Tianyuan mutation will reduce the human territory by 90%, which shows how terrifying it is, so he does not worry about Ling Meng and the others going back. It is safest to be in an internet cafe. As for the secrets of internet cafes, they will not be exposed by staying in his bedroom these days. Aha, Yiling dreamed that brother Chen cared so much about her, and she felt good in her heart. Meng Fear did not refuse. In fact, Xia and the others also wanted to stay, but the place didn't seem to be enough, so they didn't speak. You can live outside the internet cafe these days, and come in when you need it. Chen saw that Xia and the others were his aunt's subordinates, so he didn't push them out. He also planned to build a magical barrier around the internet cafe as a refuge. Thank you, sir. Xia and Tianyuan smiled and nodded, thinking in their hearts, the son is really a good person. After arranging them, Chen chatted with Yiling Meng for a long time, before letting her go back to her bedroom, and telling her not to talk to the people in the internet cafe. Yiling Meng and the others knew that this was the secret of the superdimensional spiritual religion. In order not to cause trouble for Chen, they were very obedient, and did not disturb the internet cafe members to surf the internet. And most of the internet cafe members are not there. Hatsune Miku, Kasumi Shizi and the others are playing with the lambs in Yunling's room. Orochimaru and Uchiha Madara had waited for Chen for too long, and did not see Chen come back, so they entered the free park duel in the online game. And White Badazen and the others were watching the battle. Now Luo Liang, Athena, Acids, and Urza are in the internet cafe. The next step is to sit and wait for the gods to take action. Yi Chen said coldly in the webmaster seat. 3 days later, he will ask the gods to pay a painful price that will never be forgotten. Brother, I heard what I said just now, and then I will kill them all by myself, Luo Heo said coldly. Although she did not know how many gods there were in the enemy, Luo Liang was fearless. When the time comes, I also want to have a fight with the gods. Urza smiled slightly. She exchanged the god's potion with the membership points rewarded by the world quest. Strength is approaching level 6, and Astes has not had time to spend membership points, otherwise he will not be weaker than her. The wisdom of the concubine is very troublesome in this war. You should recall Aqua to ensure the safety of the people in your territory. Athena said, is the people of my territory. After all, this is indeed my territory, and Aqua, it's time to call her back. To be honest, after a few days of not seeing Yi Chen missed Aqua, and without her, he always felt that something was missing. Could it be that this mentally retarded goddess is her own destiny? Illusion. This must be an illusion. You must know that it is illegal to be considered mentally handicapped. It starts in 3 years, and the highest is indefinite. Ding. Eris, the goddess of luck and darkness, surpasses internet cafes by proxy login. And just when Yi Chen was thinking about Aqua, a newcomer logged into the Superdimension internet cafe and its proxy login. This is the first time that an internet cafe has encountered such a situation. And this goddess of luck and darkness, Eris, Yi Chen seems to have a little impression, isn't it, the junior, that Aqua is often jealous of. Superdimension discussion group. Goddess of luck and darkness Eris, is Chen there? Senior Aqua asked me to come here to rescue soldiers. Yi Chen's heart tensed. Something happened to Aqua. Chapter 160 Athena, the wisdom of the concubine tells me that all of you in heaven are talents. Yi Chen, what happened to Aqua? Yi Chen was full of doubts. How could an accident happen to Aqua in the heaven? Only if there is an unnatural superdimensional event can an accident happen, but in that case, it is impossible for a superdimensional internet cafe to be without a mission. Eris, goddess of luck and darkness, it turns out that the leader of the team is Chen, that senior Aqua has never forgotten. In the heaven, the silver-haired goddess Eris suddenly understood something and smiled in her heart. Senior Aqua finally grew up. Yi Chen, I asked you what happened to her. Eris, goddess of luck and darkness, I'm sorry, but it's actually like this. Senior Aqua was chosen as the heir by Queen Ia, the god of the sea, but she didn't. Yes, so please come to me, ask you for help. That's it. Suddenly, Yi Chen's heart dropped. Luo, Athena, Acids, and Urza all had black lines on their foreheads, but they didn't worry about Aqua just now. But it turned out to be this. Such a beautiful thing. It is necessary to send troops to rescue Aqua. You really can't be saved. And that queen is also mentally ill, so she chose Aqua as the heir. At this moment, Yi Chen held the same doubts and bluntly asked, Eris, is your queen Ia blind? Eris, the goddess of luck and darkness, no, our lord of darkness is a blind. Yi Chen, Luo Heo, Athena, Acids, Urza, this girl didn't understand the meaning of this sentence, and I don't know why. I always feel that Aqua and the others are in the heavenly realm. Weird, super weird. There seems to be no normal person. Yi Chen, okay, I don't know if Queen Aia is blind or not. I don't understand. If you don't want to be, don't be. Can't Queen Aia force her to be? Eris, because senior Aqua didn't want to be a god, and then ran into Queen Oia, and scolded Queen Oia as an old maid who didn't understand people's hearts. Yi Chen, Luog, Athena and other women instantly looked on their faces. Confused. This wave of operations is really sharp. Aqua's IQ is on the line. This should reject Queen Oia. It's just that he is too reckless to do things, and he is not afraid of being worn by his boss for a lifetime. After a pause, Yi Chen asked curiously, then she was arrested. Eris, the goddess of luck and darkness, no, Queen Aia likes her more, saying that senior Aqua is innocent and simple, and she has never no goddess dares to say that about her. Such a pure and honest character, she is too suitable to inherit her position, so she must be the heir. Yi Chen, this Queen Oia is really powerful. What is this? The role of a domineering queen. LUOG, Athena, Acids, and Urza all think this way. Is Aqua really suitable to be a god? Queen Noia is really terrifying. At this time, Chen asked again, is there no other upper god in your heaven? Eris, the goddess of luck and darkness. There are very few high-level gods, and the water god is the only one, Lord Aqua. Queen Noia often laments that no one takes her place, and there is not even time to play Mahjong. Chen, I seem to understand something. That Queen Noia likes Aqua is false, and it is true that she wants to retire early. Athena, the wisdom of my concubine tells me that all of you in the heaven are really talented. Athena covered her face, and the world where Aqua lives is called the shame of the gods. LUO, your gods in the heavens are more powerful than the brain circuits of the gods in my world. LUO Heyo thought, if the gods in her world are as strange as the gods in the world of Aqua, then God is much simpler. Eris, goddess of luck and darkness, why do I feel insulted, even though you didn't swear? Chen complained, because you are one of the few goddesses with normal brains in the heavens. Eris, goddess of luck and darkness, is this a compliment? Eris was dumbfounded, and she often felt that she was out of tune with the seniors and colleagues in the heaven. In the past, she thought it was her problem, but now it seems that she is one of the few who has no problem. Chen, but why did Aqua let you move soldiers? Chen remembered that Aqua had always been jealous of Eris. He checked it just now, and the authority to log in as a proxy can only be authorized if the owner of the superdimensional network card agrees. At the most critical time, Kurama actually gave this great opportunity to Eris, trusting her so much. Eris, the goddess of luck and darkness, Senior Aqua has no friends in the heavens. Eris is a little tired and helpless because she is Aqua's junior. Aqua often ignores her and has many rude demands on her. But she knows that Aqua's senior is pure-hearted, like a naive and silly child. She has been taking care of Aqua Senpai like a child. It is estimated that Aqua never dreamed that she regarded Eris as her little follower, but Eris always regarded her as his ordinary child. Chen, it's hard for you. Chen suddenly felt that Eris was really good. He was holy and sweet, with a gentle temperament and sincerity. He had a smart mind, handled things properly, and had a good temper. He had been silently helping Aqua to deal with many hidden dangers that Aqua left behind in a third world. Ask for flowers, for example, the artifacts, holy swords, and magic swords that Aqua gave to the reincarnators at random. After those reincarnators died, the artifacts became unknown things. If they were used by people with a heart, it would cause unimaginable disasters. No wonder the male protagonist of Blessings for a Beautiful World regards Eris as the goddess in his heart and the most ideal love object. To be honest, Chen also thinks that such a girl is very suitable as a love object. In terms of girlfriend's power, Aqua was really blown away by Jiu Xiaoji. But if Chen had to choose between Aqua and Eris, the answer is definitely all of them. After all, only children make choices. Eris, the goddess of luck and darkness, Master, do you have a plan now? Zero. Eris has already read the iron rules of the superdimensional internet cafe at this time, and he is also shocked by the magic here. He knows his strength from Chen vs Chill Gamer, and he is also in Magic Forbidden Universe, the battle of the true demon god. In the video of, I learned that the ruler has sealed the power of the almighty and omniscient demon. Almighty and omniscient. This is the same ability as her creator goddess. Her attitude towards Chen became very respectful. Chen, it seems that you have read the information on the net. I should give you a newcomer model award. Eris, goddess of luck and darkness, Master is joking. It was the first time that Eris was praised by a big man like Chen. In the past, because she was too serious in the heaven, even if her work performance was the best, she didn't get much good looks. However, Chen is not kidding. If the newcomers who have not entered the internet cafe are like Eris, silently watching the internet cafe rules and watching the memory video, there is no need to waste so many words to explain. Chen, well, as a reward, I give you the right to shop at the time and space store. Chen thought about it and planned to recruit Eris into the superdimensional internet cafe, currently serving as an on-staff. Eris, goddess of luck and darkness, Thank you, Lord Master. Eris has seen the goods in the space-time shop and is very interested, but unfortunately he has no authority. He didn't expect the master to be so gentle. No wonder Senior Aqua likes him so much. Chen, well, it's nothing. As for Aqua, I'll go and tell Queen Oia myself. Eris, goddess of luck and darkness. To actually go to the heaven in person, the master has such self-confidence that he can make the famously strong and domineering Queen Oia back down. Superior, chapter 161, Coming to Heaven, the shock of the goddesses. Brother, I want to go with you. After Chen decided to go to the heaven where Aqua was located, Luoheo hurriedly shouted, "No, I'll go alone. You stay and watch the internet cafe." Chen said lightly, "You want to go to heaven alone?" Luoz is a little worried, although Aqua's combat power is very mentally retarded. Aqua's combat power is rated as mentally retarded and cannot be described as strong or weak, but there are so many goddesses in the heaven, and most of them are at the 6th order level. It is even more difficult to imagine what realm those gods are. What are you afraid of? Don't forget that brother has a ring of faith. Chen pointed to the ring of faith in his hand. Looking at the ring of faith, he could increase his power and regenerate infinitely. The only weakness of the ring of faith is the fear of being forcibly taken away, but because his symbiosis with Hatsune Miku has been eliminated, after symbiosis with Hatsune Miku, Chen has the characteristics of her immortality and does not need to be reborn. And the other half of the ring's 057 is on Hatsune Miku's side, and Hatsune Miku can recall the other half of the ring at any time. And Chen is impeccable. Besides, I still have the magic book of truth and the court of life. Chen's basic truth artifact, the truth magic book. With this magic book, once Chen goes crazy, the consequences will be very serious. Is my brother's divine power enough? Luoheo asked. With the presence of a concubine, you can still give the truth's divine weapon the power for a second. At this time, Athena said lightly. Athena signed a subordinate contract with Chen and could lend all her divine power to Chen. And Athena has already used the potion of the gods. The divine power of the Trinity has doubled, and with the potential explosion, now it is no longer a god projected by the myth of the god of disobedience, but has begun to condense her true godhead. Once the condensation is successful, she can become a true god, a 7th order boss. However, Athena knew very well in her heart that if the space-time shop did not refresh higher level items, it would take at least 100 million years to break through to tier 7. Don't look at those planetary restrained powers that are born at rank 7. Gayak, a layer and their survival are calculated in billions of years, and it takes 100 million years to reach the level of restraint the day after tomorrow. Is it only one more second? Luoheo Kingmei. In the pleasant universe, brother can use the artifact of truth without restrictions, but not in the heavens. The supreme rule of the pleasant goat universe is really special. The power of omnipotence and omniscience. Only 1 second is enough. Chen touched Luoheo's head, and after comforting her, he disappeared into the internet cafe. Athena doesn't need to follow. Anyway, there is a contract. Chen can use her divine power anytime and anywhere, and she doesn't necessarily need to use her divine power. Chen's current divine power is several times that of Kaodana. Not letting Athena follow, is also worried that there is the goddess Athena in the heaven. The two goddesses of war and victory meet, and there may be a conflict. Blessings for a beautiful world, the universe, heaven, above the mighty sky and the sea, in an incomparably magnificent sea temple. Aqua, wearing a crown and a dark blue royal robe, sat alone on the queen's throne with a sad expression on her face. Why didn't Chen come? Damn it, when Chen comes, he must teach him a lesson to that old woman. Aqua murmured indignantly. The two twin goddesses with beautiful blue hair who served Aqua were more puzzled and resentful than Aqua. Obviously it is a great beauty, but when it arrives at Aqua-sama, it turns into a sad face. Still shouting about Chen all day long, that Chen can be better than Godlord's position. I can only say that Aqua-sama has a good life and is self-willed. The twin goddesses shook their heads and sighed. This is fate. The fate of the upper gods is not comparable to the lower gods. Why hasn't Chen come yet? That girl Eris shouldn't be tricking me, Aqua muttered. For fear that Eris would betray her, she lent all the network cards to Eris. Of course, she could have returned to the internet cafe directly with the network card, but she was reluctant to give up the delicious food and wine in the heavens. Guanjian didn't think of this trick point. After authorizing the network card to Eris, she remembered that it seemed that she could find an excuse to go to the toilet and log into the superdimensional internet cafe. So why bother? However, Aqua's plan is actually not feasible. The goddess does not need to go to the toilet. What's more, she is still the goddess of water. Can't she even control the water in her body? Senior Aqua. Here I come. At this moment, a holy white light flashed in the temple, and Eris appeared in the temple. I have seen Lord Eris. When the blue-haired twin goddesses saw Eris, they all bowed and saluted. Although Eris and they are not from the same pantheon, they are also median gods, and have a higher status than them. Why did you come here, Chen? Aqua was a little disappointed when she saw that there was no one around Eris. Master has arrived late. Eris smiled slightly, and then a ripple of void energy appeared behind her in the middle of the company. A light and shadow of a handsome and transcendent god, like a supreme god, slowly emerged. Seeing the light and shadow of this god, the blue-haired twin goddesses were shocked. Male god, as the name suggests, it is a male god. In the heavenly world, I have never seen a male god. The gods in this world are all female. Even if there is a male god, the goddesses have never seen it. Hee. Chen is finally here, and you've become handsome again. Aqua flew over to protect Chen, and cheered with a red face. Just now I was adapting to the supreme law of the heavens, so I didn't make you wait too long. Chen touched Aqua's head and smiled slightly. HMPH, it's been a long time. You have to make up for me. Aqua muttered. Seeing Chen and Aqua so close, Eris smiled slightly, and sure enough, Senior Aqua had grown up. However, after entering the heavenly world, the master seems to be assimilated with the heavenly world. The kind of emptiness that exudes from his body seems to contain all the laws and divine powers of the heavenly world. She almost coughed. What am I thinking about? Eris patted the holy little face, sobering himself up. Where's your queen Oya? At this time, Chen asked indifferently after appeasing Aqua. The old woman doesn't know where to play mahjong. Aqua muttered. Throwing this shitty seat to her and then disappearing. Damn it, old woman. Aqua, you're naughty again. Suddenly, a whip of the god of water flashed from the void of the temple, tying the defenseless Aqua in midair before Chen could save Aqua. A blue light erupted at 3.7 in the center of the temple. A dignified and elegant queen with a scepter and a beautiful figure, full of Onisan charm and beauty, appeared in the temple. Is this the old woman? This Queen Oya, with a beauty similar to Acid's, has a temperament better than any goddess Chen has seen. Damn it, old woman, put me down quickly. Aqua muttered in dissatisfaction as she was hung in the air. I'll definitely put you down later, but who is this male god? Queen Oya looked at Chen, her eyes flashing with a shocking brilliance. Male god, with divine power close to the level of the upper gods. The divine nature is very complex, and there is a kind of nihilistic power that she can't spy on. It faintly fits with all the laws of the heavens, making her feel extremely difficult. When did heaven have such a powerful male deity? How could she have no clue at all? Chapter 162 Concession, Trade, Divine Power Skyrockets. Where are you, holy? Staring at Chen, Queen Oya asked solemnly. It doesn't matter who I am, I'm here to take her away today. Saying that, Chen took out the golden sword from the bottom of his trousers, cut off the water whip around Aqua, and saved her. Haha, Chen is still amazing. Aqua was previously restrained by Queen Oya's superior divine power, and could not untie the restraint of the water whip, but Chen did not expect to untie it so easily. Take her away, have you asked me? Queen Oya squinted her eyes. Her divine power surged, affecting the entire endless sea, and eroding the entire temple, Poseidon domain. After a while, Queen Oya's realm of the gods appeared. It was a dark blue space filled with seawater, and every drop of seawater was condensed by divine power in this field. She is the supreme ruler, controlling everything, immortal and immortal, and her divine power is infinite. In this terrifying realm of gods, in addition to Chen, Aqua, Eris and the pair of blue-haired twin goddesses, they all felt like a small boat in a turbulent tsunami that could be destroyed at any time. This is The power gap, the absolute power gap. In this blue sea of divine power, the gap between mortals and Queen Oia is infinite, and the goddesses of Aqua, the difference in divine power is only a comparison between 1000, 10,000 and infinity, and there is still no comparison, void god space, in the face of Queen Oia's domain. 20 Yi Chen said nothing, sacrificed the killer copper, the power of nothingness plus the great golden sword, to form the divine space, which eroded Queen Oia's divine space in reverse point after that. Yi Chen said, Queen Oia, you are the primordial god at the beginning of the world, the upper god, because you inherited the authority of the god of the sea, and controlled the endless sky and sea, you obtained infinite divine power. The sea is the origin of life and the symbol of life, so you are also the god of life, the goddess of life who controls the source of life in the space, filled with the translucent void god killing sword, chanting with the power of words, while opening the mythological background of Queen Oia in this world, also weakened her power. Queen Oia's power is similar to that of the demon god. Although she is not omnipotent and omniscient, she has infinite divine power, and is invincible in the heavenly realm. Moreover, she is also the goddess who controls the source of life. Controlling the source of life can kill everything in seconds. The strong under the rank point, but Yi Chen has a super dimension court of life, and Queen Oia's power as a god, and controlling the source of life is useless to Yi Chen, and the full power divine sword infused with the power of nothingness can bring unimaginable damage to Queen Oia. Even if she does not die, she will bear the price of serious injury. This is the god killing sword. After you see through the godhead, the power will instantly increase to the ultimate sword of God. It's an interesting sword, but how did you see through my godhead? After seeing Yi Chen's abilities, Queen Oia no longer felt slighted towards Yi Chen, but was only slightly curious. Her divine personality was pierced by a glance. It's very simple, you don't even look at who I came with. Yi Chen glanced at Eris with a smile, thanks to her passing the mythological information to Yi Chen from zero distance. Otherwise Queen Oia would still be a bit tricky. Eris, it's your girl. Queen Oia was stunned. Aqua didn't know her story, but Eris' girl must know. That girl is very good. It is the subordinate of the goddess of fate. This is someone else's girl. You're not a girl too? Queen Oia teased. Hearing this, Eris blushed and lowered his head, not knowing how to refute. Seeing that she didn't speak, Queen Oia finally turned her eyes back to Yi Chen and said, are you going to elope with Aqua? Cough. No, we are not going forever. After a pause, Yi Chen said coldly, I just won't let you force her to do anything. Is that so? Ah, Aqua, this child is lucky. Queen Oia suddenly laughed, secretly thinking that it was her lover who came to stand up for her. This luck is really enviable. When she was enthroned by the previous sea god, why was there no such male god to stand up for her? It's okay, let's go, but my seat is always reserved for her. After careful consideration, Queen Oia decided to take a step back temporarily and let her succeed after Aqua matured. In fact, one of the reasons why she chose Aqua as the heir was because Aqua was originally a part of her body. Queen Oia's original godhead was the god of many waters. Aqua was split from her godhead, and it was hers daughter. It's just that Aqua didn't know. Great. Chen, you are awesome. Chen, you are awesome. Aqua suddenly squatted on Yi Chen's face and cheered. Yi Chen was a little surprised. He didn't expect Queen Oia to agree easily, and he still had something behind. And Eris and the blue-haired twin goddesses were even more unexpected, and Queen Oia actually gave in. This domineering and powerful heavenly queen simply bowed her head. But they don't think about it. What else can they do if they don't give in? And they may not be able to fight. Moreover, Yi Chen's origin is so mysterious, it is not suitable for him to be an enemy. In addition, the twisted melon is not sweet, and with Yi Chen protecting the calf, it is impossible for Queen Oia to use her full of love leather whip to influence Aqua. Can only reluctantly cut love. The queen actually wants to unload the burden, so let's make a deal. Yi Chen could see that Queen Oia was still a little unwilling, and suddenly thought of his own backup trade. Queen Oia raised her sexy cherry lips slightly when she heard the words. It's interesting. If you have the guts, come to my palace and talk about it. Yi Chen was stunned, but he didn't refuse. The girl invited him, so he had nothing to be afraid of. About an hour later, Chen came out of the temple with a red face. Chen, what did you see just now? Aqua stared at Chen angrily, and Eris also looked suspicious. What am I doing? Of course, I have finished the business. Let's go. We should go back. Chen sensed the surging divine power in his body and smiled slightly. His current divine power has increased several times, and although it is still far from the 7th tier, it is countless times stronger than before. It was the 6th order great perfection before, but now it is half step early stage. As for the deal with Queen Oya, Chen asked her to use her divine power to exchange for the goods she needed in the space-time store, such as the secret technique of incarnation outside the body. Of course, this transaction does not take an hour, but during the transaction, Queen Oya proposed a special bet, euphemistically, to help Aqua to test Chen's determination. As for the content of the bet, I won't mention it. Anyway, both of you are very happy, okay? Aqua didn't think much. What Chen said was what he said. 060 Ray saw that senior Aqua didn't pursue it, so she was embarrassed to poke the faint fragrance on Chen's body. Come with you too, Eris. Chen thought about it and decided to take Eris to visit the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. She was a non-staff anyway. Can you do that? Eris said with a twinkle in his eyes. Of course, you are considered yourself. Chen said, thank you Lord Master. Eris said happily. Aqua pouted, but for the sake of Eris helping her this time, she won't bother her anymore. Then, Chen returned to the Superdimension Internet Cafe with Aqua and Eris. It's just that Chen didn't know that after he left, in the chaotic space above the heavens, a mysterious goddess sighed faintly. Is it the supreme god from another dimension? Superdimension Internet Cafe. Haha, this goddess is finally back. Liu Jiang, where are the people? When Aqua returned, she was very proud, as if she had won a big victory. It's just that I didn't see my friend Liu Hua, only Liu Liang and Athena who didn't want to see her. Your Liu Jiang was taking care of the lamb just now, and now it should be in the free park field. Chen checked the internet cafe login information and found that Liu Hua was watching the duel between Orochimaru and Uchiha in the park field. Dueling arena, a newcomer? Hee, the goddess is going to have a look. Aqua said with a smile, intending to show her powerful divine power in front of the newcomer. Seeing that Aqua was so interested, Chen naturally wouldn't refuse, and Eris just wanted to see what the free park field looked like, so the three of them logged into the free park field together. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 163 Trial Copy. Superdimensional Internet Cafe. Online Game Dungeon. Free Park Field. 3 beams of light fell, and Chen, Aqua, and Eris landed on the dual field, based on the Ninja World continent. Senior Aqua, the energy here is very special, not magic, nor our divine power. Perceiving the chakra energy in the sky, Eris was extremely curious. She has not been to the Ninja World, and she is not familiar with Uchiha, so she is very curious about chakra energy. What a fuss. Chakra's attack is useless to us. At least it takes the immortal chakra to be on a par with our divine power. Aqua snorted softly. The goddess's physique is extremely high, similar to Tsutsuki Kaguya, and it is not at all effective for ordinary ninjutsu attacks. Senior Aqua, you know a lot. Eris looked at Aqua unexpectedly and was completely impressed with her. That's natural. Aqua said with a smug smile, holding her hands. In fact, Chen told her. Otherwise Aqua wouldn't even know what chakra was. There's a battlefield ahead. At this time, Chen pointed to the Valley of the End, 100 miles away, and said, planetary devastation. At this moment, Uchiha made a big move. What a huge meteorite. As soon as Eris looked up, he found that a huge fall fell from the sky. Although the energy level did not cause any harm to the goddess, it could easily become a country in seconds. And Uchiha, who emitted the meteorite, stood proudly in the void, ignoring Orochimaru below, and said, this trick depends on how you block it. Damn. Summoning technique 1 snake. Orochimaru watched the meteorite fall, sweating profusely, and the seal summoned the summoning beast. Huge white smoke drifted past, and a 100-meter long purple giant snake that looked like it was about to turn into a flood dragon appeared on the valley of the end. Orochimaru, you summoned me again. Remember to give me 100 fuck. One snake is very arrogant and domineering and does not take the summoner Orochimaru seriously, but when it finds the attack that is about to fall, it directly yells and wants to cancel the contract and return to the dragon cave, where it lives. Too bad it's too late. Orochimaru briefly stuns him for a moment with his illusion and hides in his nose to avoid being hit by planetary devastation, and one snake was directly smashed into a lump of meat by the meteorite, and the dead can't die anymore. Orochimaru, Meru, you're good at escaping, but how many of these snakes can you summon? Uchiha Madara looked at one snake's body and sneered. Although there are only a handful of summoning beasts of this level in the ninja world, they are only at the level of a tailed beast bomb. Uchiha Madara didn't take the snake in his eyes at all. It's just that Orochimaru is a little distressed. The strength of the snake is still very strong, and it can fight against the tail beast in terms of size and strength. Although not tailed beast bomb, it is enough to make the ninja below cage level helpless. There is nothing to say, is it? Shenalue Shien's Heng, seeing that Orochimaru was powerless to refute. Uchiha Madara lost interest and shot again. The terrifying repulsion blasted everything around. Summoning technique, triple Rashomon. Orochimaru summons the giant Rashomon to fend off the attack. Boom. Under Uchiha Madara's powerful 6 paths chakra, the triple Rashomon was shattered directly, and Orochimaru was also blasted out. Damn, physical attacks don't work. Then, illusion, Neraku, C technique. Orochimaru can't get close to Uchiha Madara in taijutsu at all, and he can't even get close to it. The power of ninjutsu is too small. Compared with Uchiha Madara, it is insignificant, and can only use illusion. Childish, use illusions on the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Madara ignores Orochimaru's illusion directly, casts universal pull to suck Orochimaru, and then strikes again. Rumbling. Orochimaru's body was completely abused, and he rolled on the ground for an unknown number of times before standing up. After standing up, Orochimaru was panting, and there was not a single part of his body intact. If he hadn't remodeled his body, he would have died so many times, and Uchiha Madara, unscathed, was just kidding. At this time, not to mention the big guys like White Badazen, even Rocker, Shinono Bunch, Alice and other soy sauces know that Orochimaru and Uchiha Madara are not at the same level. Too weak. Orochimaru, you are considered a genius? Now, do you still dare to say that Sarutobi is the strongest Hokage in history? Uchiha Madara grunted unyieldingly. Third Hokage, the strongest ever. What rubbish. Damn, I actually lost to Bloodline. Orochimaru was very unwilling. If Uchiha Madara didn't have Sharingan or Rinnegan, even if he lost, he wouldn't have lost so badly. In fact, Orochimaru felt that he was not entirely correct in blood, but he also won more than half of it. The story of the world of Hokage is actually a family affair of Sage of 6 Paths. Orochimaru, as a non-6 Paths bloodline, can have the current achievements. It is already very remarkable. It's a pity that the Hokage world still pays attention to bloodlines, and physique. After all, the acquired outstanding 4th Hokage, Hatake White Fang and Orochimaru, can only use soy sauce in the later stage. Compared with the bloodline of 6 Paths, it is not enough to see. After all, born in such a world, this is the tragedy of a genius like Orochimaru. Enough, let's end this battle. Orochimaru, please step back. At this time, Chen brought Eris and Aqua to the battlefield, ended this meaningless fight, and did not want Orochimaru to continue to appear. Yes, the leader of the group. Orochimaru knew that Chen's appearance was a good step for him, and naturally he would not refuse. The leader said yes. Uchiha Madara nodded, taught Orochimaru a lesson, and didn't bother to care. It doesn't make sense for adults to bully children. Actually, he also wanted to tame Orochimaru, like Whitebeard's hammer. But just think about it, Orochimaru can't really surrender to a person. Even if the current Orochimaru still has a good conscience, and is far less evil than in the future, he will not succumb to people. Master Chief, why are you here at this time? The bundle of Zyos. He looked at Chen curiously. When the battle was over, in her heart, she felt that the team leader herself was more handsome than in the memory video. It was the first time that she was so pleasing to the eyes of a boy, but her best friend Kai and Anjiang would not be surprised when she saw Chen. There is a man who is stronger than her. Hee. It's fun to think about. Shinono bundle suddenly wanted to play with her sweetheart. Chen doesn't know Zyos is his mind, only that her thinking is different from ordinary people. She only cares about the people she loves. Her methods are a bit aggressive, and she doesn't know how to communicate with them normally, so her behavior is often not understood by Honey and Sister. However, Zyos is, he asked just right. Chen came to have his purpose, so he said, I'm here to tell you that in 3 days there will be a cataclysm. I will fight the gods in my world. Those who are interested can sign up. If there are extra prey, I can play with you. Now that Aqua is back, and there is an extra Eris, 3 days later, the 800,000 victims of Jiangnan City will be resurrected, and punishment will be given to Ragnarok. It is estimated that there will be no problem. But that was the second Tianyuan mutation after all, so Chen was afraid that there would be insufficient manpower, so he invited the members of the Superdimensional Network, to fight against the gods. If there is a chance, of course it is the best. Whitebeard was the first to respond, and wanted to challenge the gods for a long time. Gods, I only hope that the gods of the leader's world can give a little more strength. Merlin said confidently and swollenly, after all, he is Merishan now, and in the 6th order, except Laozi and the leader of the leader, no one is false. God, I don't know how it compares with the Spirit King. Aizen pushed his glasses and smiled slightly. And Uchiha Madara, Laozi, Magneto and other internet cafe bigwigs are also in high spirits, looking forward to the battle in 3 days. Orochimaru listened and secretly said in his heart, gods, when they die, they will tear off a piece of their flesh and complete my immortality experiment. Is it a god? It's really the best research material. Zyos is, he secretly said in his heart, Achan, it turns out that there will be a battle of gods in 3 days, so you must not forget me. Aqua muttered. At the beginning, Chen said that it was good that Jiangnan City would take her to act as a coercion, but she did it all by herself, and she still never forgets it. Senior Aqua, the master will definitely need you when he brings you back. Before Chen could answer, the empathetic Eris explained. Chen nodded slightly. Eris was caring, and gave her a compliment in his heart. Really, that's great. He. Aqua heard it, and she was full of joy, and sure enough, she was the most useful and important thing in Oz King's mind. By the way, didn't Dr. Kinnis log into the internet cafe? At this time, Chen looked around, and found that Dr. Kinnis was absent from the internet cafe. Scientist's Grey Wolf is a coward. Even if he explained it, he still dare not log into the internet cafe for the time being, for fear of being eaten by others. Tony was beaten a lot and became autistic, but Chen knew that Tony would soon get out of the shadows and become stronger. Any kind of shock armor, Thor armor, etc. could be developed. As for Dr. Kinnis, Chen's impression was that he was a person who pursued the truth and could overcome the fear of death, but he didn't watch the battle here and observe the mysterious power, which was very unscientific, drive. Kinnis, it seems that I have something to go back. Alice was more thoughtful, remembering that Dr. Kinnis first logged into the internet cafe to watch the game. It's weird. Is there something wrong with his base? Could it be that he met the bald-headed Demon King? Chen thought of a possibility, and as soon as this thought flashed through his ears, a mechanical prompt sounded in his ears. Ding. Net member Dr. Kinnis was killed. Passively use the resurrection potion. The resurrection was successful, and he will be sent back to the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. Ding. It is detected that the members of the Internet Cafe have been taken blood, and the Superdimensional trial task is released. Clear the 1v1 hell difficulty trial copy. The trial copy big boss, the bold devil. Chapter 164 King, how strong are you? 1v1. Trial mission. At the same time that Chen heard the mission, the members of the internet cafe and the people in the park field also heard it. I'm very curious, who killed Dr. Kenneth and forced him to consume a bottle of resurrection medicine? What a waste. Alice felt a little distressed about those membership points, which were 1000 membership points. Killer la la. The resurrection medicine will be used sooner or later. I'm more concerned about the trial mission that appears for the first time. It is definitely not easy to call it a trial mission. Whitebird had great expectations for this mission, and the hell level trial made his blood boil. Dad, will this trial copy be as easy as the online game copy? Enel murmured. Point in the online game dungeon. The current difficulty of hell is very easy, because the current highest level is only level 33 on the side of the giant beast, and the subsequent dungeons have not yet been opened. In the future, Enel will no longer be able to say that the dungeon is easy. I don't think it's possible. This time the difficulty should be very high. This is an internet cafe task, not an online game task. Muto Games dragged his chin and analyzed. Point, there has never been a mission of this level before. Even if it is a world mission, it is a sure win, and it is almost not too difficult. Hell difficulty, that's the fun. Aizen pushed his glasses. He was never afraid of challenges. That's natural. Uchiha Madara looked proud. Aizen was not afraid. How could he possibly be afraid? I just took the divine medicine. I don't know how it will work. Magneto smiled confidently. After taking the potion of the gods, his potential exploded again, and now he can compete with the ordinary god 0601 on one. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth. Even if his current strength is only at the early 5th order level, he still wants to participate in the battle. I'm going to challenge too. Misaka Makoto, who was a fighter, wanted to see how difficult this mission was. Luo Liang, Athena, Urza, and Acids in the internet cafe. Not to mention, they will not miss the battle with a strong Chen. I heard the dungeon boss is the bald-headed devil. Is he the devil? At this moment, the most excited are Aqua and Eris. They hate the devil the most. Of course, the devil they hate is not a god like Luo Liang, but the devil king, Chen. Let's go kill that bald-headed demon king. Aqua said through gritted teeth. Senior Aqua, please take me with you. Eris said, since you're begging like this, I'll definitely take you. Aqua patted Eris on the shoulder, triumphant. Sure enough, Eris was her little fangirl. Wow, as everyone knows, Eris takes care of Aqua like a daughter in his heart. Point on weekdays. Chen is also very fond of Aqua. Point only this time, Chen couldn't let Aqua be willful. The bald-headed devil is indeed a big devil, but it's not the kind of devil you think. You should not participate in this mission. Chen must stop Aqua's death-defying behavior. To be honest, Aqua, who is mentally retarded, can't beat the bald-headed devil in One Punch Man. Point in Cat, One Punch Man. The bald-headed demon king, he almost smashed half the moon with a bouncing recoil, and seriously smashed the Star Destroyer of the Universe Overlord with one punch. No one knows where the power limit is. The starburst is just a bald-headed preliminary estimate of the strength of the great demon king. Point. If you challenge the bald-headed devil head-on, Aqua will probably be cast into a psychological shadow. Point. Although Eris will not leave a psychological shadow, Chen is not like such a beautiful goddess being beaten by the bold devil's fist. Chen, what's the situation? Everyone is confused. Aqua said in a confused way, the ruler is saying that our strength is not a bold opponent. Eris was smart, and he directly understood what Chen meant. That's right. Chen nodded. Aqua and Eris really couldn't beat the bald-headed demon king, and the mission required a duel, and there were conditions. What? As soon as the news came out, Aizen and the others were a little surprised. Aqua is a high-level god, and they didn't know which rank it was, because Aqua's combat power was too mentally retarded, but the divine power was at least the 6th order great perfection level, and even half step 7 point. With such strength, he is not even the opponent of that bald-headed demon king. Is that big devil strong in strength, or is his ability strange? Aizen asked first. Look at the mission prompts for yourself. This time I can't give you specific prompts. Chen spread his hands and said point. Hearing this, Aizen and others all looked up the task information released by the internet cafe in their minds. Task reminder: the location of the trial copy here is Dr. Kenneth's research fortress, the home of evolution. Dungeon boss, Bull Demon King, strength, difficult to assess, number of people, unlimited, restrictions, a fair environment, one-on-one, no special rules to protect, no mysterious influence, the information of both parties is not open. Task reward, according to the record, divided into 3, third class, completely defeated, consolation prize. 100 membership points. Second class, no winner within 10 minutes. 1000 member points, random red envelopes x1. First class, defeat the bald-headed devil, strengthen one attribute at random plus a lucky draw. The best, defeat the bald devil, all attributes are strengthened plus lucky draw once. This is a very low probability event, and this mission will not really die. After death, you will be forced to return to the Superdimension Internet Cafe. After the mission is over, there will be a special reward for all staff. There are third class tasks, there are consolation prizes for losing, and the target's strength is difficult to assess. This is full of hell difficulty vision. However, there are rewards for failure, which makes him very eager to move. I think I can participate. It's a welfare task. Alice wants to collect 1000 membership points, directly copy the ability of Elogia Devil Fruit, and then push the entire Resident Evil world. Participate in. You should ask Dr. Kinnis how he feels first. Chen didn't think that for the sake of 100 member points, facing a starburst could be considered a benefit. Ordinary people would probably leave a shadow for the rest of their lives if they ate the fist of the bald-headed devil. Hello everyone, I'm back. At this time, Dr. Kinnis logged into the free park field with a pale face. Drive. Kinnis, what kind of attack did you encounter? Seeing his pale blood, lingering fears, and trembling all over, everyone asked curiously. In fact, Dr. Kinnis had no idea what level of attack he had encountered. The origin of things is this: yesterday, Mosquito Girl went to the suburbs to suck blood because of an experiment. As a result, she met Jennison the Bold Devil and was slapped by the Bold Devil. Dr. Kenneth became interested in the bald-headed devil and sent a team to rob the bald-headed devil to come back for experiments. Just at this time, he joined the Superdimensional Internet Cafe and he ignored this matter. He didn't expect that the bald-headed demon and his disciple devil transformer Genis had already hit the door. Kenneth would never have been killed, but after joining the Superdimensional Internet Cafe, his self-confidence has swelled and he has recharged. Wave. Then he was stunned by Saitama's skeptical life. He still doesn't know what kind of terrifying fist he is facing. He only knew that when the fist pressed against his face, he clearly saw the big red word death in his brain. One shot kills. Absolutely kills. One shot. This is how I feel. Dr. Kinnis sighed. He knows the trial mission, but he doesn't plan to participate in this mission. He needs to take a break now. It is best if someone can give him some psychological treatment. Miss, that's scary. Alice was a little flustered. Aizen and the others raised their eyebrows slightly, feeling that the pressure of this trial task was not small. I didn't expect that my world turned out to be Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. At this time, aside from Chen, the only man with a relaxed expression spoke up, and he was King, the strongest man on earth. Anyway, he didn't plan to participate in this mission, so his attitude was very casual. But in the eyes of everyone, King is a bit unpredictable. As expected of the strongest other than the team leader, none of the internet cafes can see through King's strength yet. In anyone's eyes, King is an ordinary person. But is that possible? King is the strongest man on the surface. The ID certified by the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Drive. Kenneth and King, the bald-headed devil, are all in the same world, and they are all men. Does this mean that King is stronger than the bald devil? Oh my gosh, King, how strong are you? Everyone was terrified and looked at King in disbelief. Chapter 165 The Horror of Lucky Value X. Why are everyone looking at me inexplicably? King was stared at by everyone, and his heart felt dizzy for a while, because the heartbeat accelerated, and the Emperor's engine started point peng 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 peng. The surging heartbeat sounded like a drum of war, shaking in the air of the free dual field. This is King's Imperial engine. It seems that you already have the will to fight. As soon as Dr. Kinus heard King's heartbeat, he was relieved, and the fear brought by the bald-headed Demon King was relieved a bit. With King's shot, at least our superdimensional internet cafe will win this mission. Alice felt that the pressure was much less. As long as King severely injured the bald-headed devil, the internet cafe members would not be able to kill him by the wheels. King, we can only rely on you. Go and smash the bald devil. Enel said, "Cool la la la, as expected of the man with the strongest name. This time I can only rely on you." Whitebird patted King's shoulder and laughed happily. Cough cough. King was almost breathless when he was shot by Whitebird, but still no one noticed that he was weak point. Every time he behaves like a normal person, everyone automatically becomes blind. Ignoring his poverty point, King really didn't understand what kind of situation this was. In fact, there is still a girl who found the clue, that is Eris. She is the goddess of luck and darkness, two gods in one. She clearly sensed an unusual luck in King. Lord Master, King is actually immortal, right? Eris asked quietly through his soul transmission. "Oh, I didn't expect you to see it. As expected of the goddess of luck, you guessed it right. Luck is very important to a person." Chen smiled in his heart, but did not answer Eris directly. The influence of luck on people is extremely important point at the beginning. Liu He sold a little bit of luck crystals and got 1000 membership points. 1000 membership points, the price of a talent replica card or Whitebird Conqueror's Haki crystal. King is the kind of man with fortune who is more protagonist than protagonist point. Luck is so powerful that it can even distort reality point. For example, the lucky value of heroic spirits in the fate world. If you are lucky enough to reach X, you can reverse the cause and effect. Even the noble phantasm that locks the world attack like the deviant sword can be defeated. After all, under the control of the restraining force, the deviating sword can't even break the floor tiles of Liudang Temple. So what's the point of hitting miss? By the way, Imihai Shirao's English female teacher, Fuayuki no Taiga Fujimura Taiga, is currently the only human being with a lucky X. The heroic spirits of lucky X in FGO are all parallel imports, and none of them can evade attacks. As for King, although his luck value has not reached the point of reversing cause and effect, it has also distorted reality. Even if it is not X rank, it should have reached A++. Is that so? Lucky. Eris finally understood King's situation. As the goddess of luck, her luck value has reached the X level, of course, so she can see King's special point. And because she is lucky, it is easier to gain the faith of believers. Her sect is the largest sect in the Otherworld, and her divine power is infinitely close to the upper god point. In addition, she is naturally more popular than Aqua, and she can be said to be the winner of life in heaven point, although there are quite a few goddesses who are jealous of her in the heavens. She does almost everything like a duck in water, and anyone who stumbles on her will not benefit point. And the intelligence of the goddess is destined from birth. Everyone can see the level of intelligence of the lucky Eris and the level of the unlucky Aqua point. In fact, it is not only the world of fate, the world of One Punch Man, but also the blessings of the beautiful world. In this extraordinary world, even in the everyday world, there are many people who are born with good luck points. Some people are really lucky from childhood to adulthood, and some people are very unlucky from childhood to adulthood. Although they are all very isolated examples, luck is really hard to describe point. Even if Eris is the goddess of luck, she cannot explain the principle of the power of luck. She can only use this power. Master, if I use the skill luck, blessing for King, although the skill has a time limit, he should become more terrifying during this time. Eris suddenly thought playfully, and told Chen his thoughts. King, who already has strong luck, comes with a lucky buff, and there is a real possibility of a chemical reaction point. It is a very simple operation for the goddess to give blessings to others, and it does not require physical contact. It only needs to be silently recited in the heart, and the person being blessed may not know it point. However, Chen is the strongest god killer, with maximum magic resistance. If he wants to bless him, Eris must kiss him to apply the buff, and it doesn't need to last for too long. Because Yi Chen's strength is too strong point at the beginning, Aqua also gave Yi Chen's exclusive goddess blessing, which was permanent for a long time, but as Yi Chen's strength surpassed Aqua, the effect of the blessing became weaker. I think I can try it. Yi Chen smiled with interest. King is just a mortal, and the effect will undoubtedly reach its peak. Well, the blessing of the goddess. Eris whispered a blessing, and a holy light shrouded King's head, boosting his luck. Just this moment King frowned. Why does it feel like it will be more difficult for me to explain in the future? The eyes of the rest of the people looking at King also changed, mainly because they felt that King's demeanor was more sunny and confident, and more calm. Zero asking for flowers with such an obvious change. Yi Chen and Eris looked at each other and secretly said, "Isn't it really X rank, Master Leader? I don't actually plan to participate in this trial mission, but I can't do it now if I don't." King was very kind, so he finally had to ask Yi Chen for help. Yi Chen knew about King's difficulties, but he didn't help King. He just smiled and said, "Everyone, please listen to me." Hearing this, the members of the internet cafe all quieted down and waited for the group leader's next words. Actually, even if King crippled the bald-headed Demon King, you still couldn't complete the mission. Don't forget that the quest prompt is a fair environment. If the bald-headed Demon King is seriously injured, you are also seriously injured. Yi Chen said lightly, then this task is too difficult. Enel looked at Jenna's pale and frightened face and instantly lost his motivation. I can give you a little hint. Do what you can. 00 After giving the hint, Yi Chen said, that's all I can say. Within the next 10 minutes, we will decide on the task candidate, and then we will go to the bald-headed Demon King. After all, Yi Chen, Eris, and Aqua left the free park field, returned to the Superdimensional Internet Cafe, and discussed strategies with Luozi and Athena. In fact, Yi Chen didn't know the current upper limit of the bald-headed Demon King. Although he was sure of being invincible, it would be difficult for him to defeat the bald-headed Demon King before the second Tianyuan Mutation. Such a trial mission was suddenly issued. Yi Chen felt that this was an opportunity to strengthen himself, which would be of great benefit to the war with the gods in the future. And Luoheo and the others, based on Yi Chen's hints, gave Yi Chen some strategies. Maybe the bald-headed Demon King who could fight took the initiative to admit defeat. At this moment, the bald-headed Demon King Saitama didn't know that he was being targeted by a group of gods and demons from different dimensions. Yawn. On the aisle of the underground base of the House of Evolution, Saitama sneezed suddenly, feeling the coldness behind him. Teacher, what's wrong with you? Janice asked curiously. Even a strong man like the teacher can't escape the fate of catching a cold. It's nothing. Let's move on, hoping to meet a decent opponent. Saitama said lightly. I met a very interesting opponent at the gate of the base before. He was killed and resurrected with one punch. There are really not many people who can take 2 punches from him. Unfortunately, the target disappeared. But that is only the first layer of the evolution house, and there may be many stronger opponents below. The thought of fighting against so many powerful monsters made Saitama's silent blood faintly awaken. This time, I must meet a powerful weirdo. Saitama prayed in his heart, unaware that the road ahead was the most unforgettable day in his life. Superior. Chapter 166. The trial begins. The Absolute Field. Superdimension Internet Cafe. Yi Chen looked at the members who returned to the Internet Cafe and asked, it's time. You can sign up. I'm the first. Muto Game seemed to be the first to stand up. My second one. Magneto said, my third. I'm fourth. I'm fifth. The next 3, 4, and 5 are Archer Hamadara, Aizen, Merlin, Laozi 6th, Whitebird is 7th, Enel is 8th, Orochimaru 9th place. Among the girls, in addition to Luolu, Athena, Urza, and Asadsu are beside Yi Chen, the rest are Misaka Makoto, Shino's Bundle, Alice, and Liu Hua. Hatsune Miku and Yan Lingji didn't think about participating. Zashizi, Aang Lily, and Sage Megumi gave up directly. They only bought 300 membership points and bought chakra refining technique and then saved it, planning to buy a talent copy card. Wuliuki is not online. The Grey 060 Wolf is doing research and Dr. Kinnis abstains. King Finale. This is everyone's registration. Then it's decided. Chen said. Wait, Achan, I want to participate. I learned a trick from that old maid, and I will never lose. Aqua suddenly remembered the trick that Kuinoa taught her, and immediately shouted to participate. Let's just trust you. Chen said. Master, I also want to participate. I don't want to fall behind Senior Aqua. Eris insisted at this time. Can you? Chen asked. Hee, don't forget that I'm the goddess of luck and darkness. The silver-haired beautiful and holy goddess gave a sly smile with a black belly, which made Chen slightly stunned. In fact, through Chen's strategic conversation with Athena and Eluoheo just now, Eris has roughly guessed the ability of the bald-headed Demon King, so she is sure to win the second-class reward. And the first class is also a little possible. Okay, let's go. Chen started the trial task silently. In an instant, all the applicants disappeared in the internet cafe. One Punch Man World. Research Fortress, Evolution House, Underground Base, the most expansive laboratory room at the bottom. Cac. Endless firepower is attacking a huge unicorn monster. Genis, the disciple of the Bold Devil, is fighting against the strongest monster in the evolution family, Ashura Unicorn. However, it is not so much a confrontation as it is a unilateral complete abuse. Damn it, why the attack doesn't work. All Genis attacks were like scratches to Ashura Unicorn. Ashura Unicorn's armor is too high, and Genis didn't choose physical penetration. Of course, he couldn't move. If Genis' mechanical arm has strong penetrating power, it can still cause some damage to Ashura Unicorn. Hahaha, it's too weak. Have you played enough? Ashura's unicorn sneered jokingly, and the backhand punched Genis with a punch. In the world of One Punch Man, there are 5 levels of monsters: wolf, tiger, ghost, dragon, and god. The definition of god level is the catastrophe that can bring about the destruction of the world. The definition of the dragon level is the disaster that can bring about the destruction of several cities. There are also gaps in the same level, so there is a dispute over the top of the dragon, the middle of the dragon, and the bottom of the dragon. Ghosts are disasters that can bring the destruction of a city. Tiger class is to bring large-scale casualties. Normal humans and guns and ammunition are difficult to work. Wolf level is a monster that can bring danger to ordinary people. Well-trained and well-equipped troops, or experienced C-level B-level heroes can basically deal with it. Ashura Unicorn is a dragon-level monster, with a reinforced steel body and infinite strength. In the Hero Association, at least an S-level hero can defeat him. S-level heroes correspond to ghost-level dragons. Genis' strength is at the bottom of S-level heroes. It's okay to deal with ghost-level monsters, but it is far from enough to deal with dragon-level monsters. Genis, can you do it? I'll go. Saitama asked quickly as he watched Genis get hammered. Teacher, I will not lose. Although Genis was turned in the air by Ashura's unicorn hammer for 3.5 weeks, and there was no spark when he landed, he was still reluctant to give up, and wanted to rely on his own strength to defeat the powerful enemy. You really can't lose, because we don't have time to wait for you. Ripples in the void distorted. Chen came with the members of the internet cafe, and the first time they came, the Ashura unicorn at their feet was directly crushed by the internet cafe bosses and burst open. Until death, Ashura unicorn did not know what was going on. What? Genis was stunned. He attacked the Ashura unicorn for a long time, but was trampled to death. An ordinary unicorn is not so easy to trample to death. Ashura unicorn, my highest masterpiece, is also the most severely defective product. Dr. Kinnis pushed his glasses and said with some regret, is it your greatest masterpiece? You sent someone to arrest the teacher. When Genis heard this, he couldn't help attacking Dr. Kinnis. His palm erupted with high temperature flames, pointing at Dr. Kinnis. This guy's character is still as impulsive as ever. Chen shook his head. Genis' strength is not weak. He is considered a 4th order powerhouse, but his performance in every battle is not satisfactory. Because he is too confident and careless without knowing the enemy's ability. Even without saying a word, he directly shot at Dr. Kinnis. Didn't you see Ashura unicorn being directly trampled to death by Chen and the others? Teach him to be a man. Chen ordered coldly, to teach Genis a lesson. Good master, blade of the Admiral Army of Ice Hill. Ace shot instantly, and with a wave of the ice sword, a storm that could affect the entire continent erupted in an instant. Janus flame went out directly, and even his mechanical body was directly frozen for several layers, forming an extremely cold and extremely strong iceberg. Muto game. Enel, Misaka Makoto and others took a deep breath. Ace can now release his ultimate moves and incorporate micro manipulation. Even if his strength is not at level 6, it is very close. The effect of the potion of the gods is also very good. No wonder no one in the internet cafe does not buy the potion of the gods. I didn't buy it because I was too poor. Hey, Janus, are you still alive? Saitama saw that Janus was frozen into a mountain and hurriedly shouted, "It's a bit difficult to save Janus because it is frozen and a punch might turn Janus into scum, and there is no way for Saitama to melt this terrifying air-conditioned iceberg." Saitama is a warrior with full attack, defense, and abnormal resistance. He is not a mage. He can burst stars with one punch, but you can let him send out a small fireball, but he can't do it. Relax. He won't die, so I don't want to save him. Next, let's start our trial mission. Just when Saitama was at a loss, Chen announced the mission with a chuckle. It was also at this moment that the entire institute was enveloped by a superdimensional force, forming an absolute field that could not be broken through. Even Saitama could not get out. PS. In fact, King's real situation will be disclosed later. King himself has always wanted to explain, and the protagonist just wants to see how lucky he is. After Saitama knew about King's situation in the original work, King's heart was relieved. There is no more pressure, and the character King is similar to Satan in Dragon Ball, Buggy in One Piece. Just luck. As for the heaven-defying escalation plot will not appear on a funny character. Chapter 167, the trump card of the Muto game. Trial mission? What does this have to do with me? Saitama pointed to himself with a blank face. He can understand these people freezing Janus because Janus shot at them. He has never attacked these people. Because Dr. Kinus used the transformation technique when he was in Saitama, so Saitama didn't recognize it and didn't know his entanglement with the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. At this moment, the members of the Superdimension Internet Cafe are also collectively stunned. Wait. Brother, is he the bald devil? Luoheo turned to look at Chen and asked in surprise, besides him, who else is bald here? Chen shrugged. Luoheo and the others were too slow to respond, and they didn't know the mission goal until now. It looks like an ordinary light bulb. Alice said, looking at Saitama's shining head. He's also called the Great Demon King. Liuhua felt that the Great Demon King was not as powerful as her successor, the fictional evil King's true eye. It looks like a bald cloak. Enel complained, hey, that's enough for you. Come on if you want to fight. I'm not bald. Your whole family is bald. Saitama got more and more angry as he listened, and his head was almost twisted into a tic-tac-toe. When these people wanted to fight, they made it clear that personal attacks were nothing. The whole family is bald. Alice and the others were a bit dumbfounded. This bald-headed devil is still 20 and really close to the people. Although he showed off, he didn't want to accept the reality. Don't look at him as a plain-looking bald man, but he is far stronger than you think. Chen reminded. Concubine's wisdom tells me that his power is immeasurable. Athena's wise power reminds her not to get hit by Saitama. The goddess of wisdom says so. No wonder the superdimensional mission says that his power is difficult to assess. Aizen pushed his glasses. His eyes flashed with light and secretly said, if it is only strong, he can think of a way to deal with it, but everything has to be done according to the plan. Thinking so, Aizen took a deep look at the game of Muto. Muto game nodded. In the free park field before, he had an agreement with the big guys like Aizen, otherwise he would not be the first to play. Master Team Leader, can we start? Muto Game stood up and asked. It's natural. The first game, Muto Game vs Saitama, begins. Chen said, hey, have you asked my opinion? Saitama muttered. Let him fight a short high school student. These people are too rascal. Saitama has never killed a human in his life, not even a villain, but if those villains turn into weirdos, don't blame him for being ruthless, and Mutogame is obviously not a weirdo, just an ordinary high school student who looks very ordinary. How does this make him start? Your opinion? Sorry, we never consider the opinions of outsiders. Chen said indifferently, killer la la, I agree with what the leader said. Whitebird said with a hearty smile, as an emperor in the sea, how can he be influenced by other people's opinions? The four emperors are a group of willful monsters. As for Chen's words, Aizen, Uchiha, Magneto, and Orochimaru also nodded their heads in the same way. They are not good people, but big bosses. They all have their own arrogance in their hearts, and they will not easily recognize a person. Not to mention the life and death of unexpected people. Are you guys all like that? Saitama was indignant, and felt that the other party was a bit high, which made him feel a little envious. No way, Saitama doesn't have the aura of any strong man on the outside, looks very ordinary, and can't be found in the crowd. Only in battle can Saitama show his true power. However, because it was solved with one punch, no matter how strong the momentum was, it could only last for a second or two. Except for his die-hard fan Genis, no one knew how powerful Saitama was. This is not the sadness of the strong, but the sadness of the invincible. But after Chen came, Saitama would no longer have such invincible troubles. Game, you go first. It's been a minute now. Seeing that Saitama didn't plan to do it, Chen wouldn't let Mutogames take advantage of Saitama for 10 minutes and then get the second class reward. This is a trial mission, not a lie and win mission, so there must be one person who takes the shot first. Okay, leader card transform, Black Mage. Mutogames took the reward card he got in the world of One Piece and transformed into a black wizard. Is this a superpower? At this moment, Saitama clearly sensed the power of Muto's game improvement, and there are superpowers among humans. Black Magician, there is no nonsense in the game of Muto, the black magic at the core of a black hole, the power of terrifying erosive substances, hit the Bull Devil head on, and terrifying dark fluctuations erupted. Wow. Liuhua and Alice were both taken aback, but they didn't expect Mutogame to hit the bald-headed Demon King with one blow. Is the Mutogame that powerful? Anal was surprised. This blow has a dark attribute. Logia is not immune, and the power has reached the peak of tier 4. I haven't seen Mutogames for a long time. Who knows that his strength after the transformation of the Black Magic Guide is close to level 5, and the card pack he got last time was better than mine. In the card pack Merlin got last time, the most precious card was a special monster card, Time Magician. And the Mutogame is definitely more than that simple. I remember King always suggested that he switched to Summoner in the dungeon. Is this the key to his magical power improvement? Alice said, then isn't he a woman, a big guy in women's clothing? Liuhua was stunned. I didn't agree. I played Ghost Swordsman and transferred to Devil May Cry. Listening to their discussion, Mutogame immediately hurriedly defended. I can attest to this. King said, why are you in such a hurry to defend? Alice said with a smile, yes. Liuhua nodded. Hey, what are you playing in the trial mission? Do you think the Mutogame won? Chen frowned when he saw that the internet cafe members were joking one by one. It seems that the past tasks have been too smooth, making them a little conceited. This time the internet cafes released the trial tasks, probably to teach them a lesson. It is necessary to know that there are days outside the sky, and there are people outside the people. What a gorgeous attack, but it's useless at this moment, after the aftermath of the black magic. Energy dissipated. Saitama walked out unscathed, touched his bald head, and asked curiously. At that moment, he thought he would be injured, and the magic bullet that looked like a black hole in 060 was really scary. Turns out it didn't hurt at all. At this moment, Mutogame, Liuhua, and Alice were all stunned. They were hit by such a strong blow, and seemed to be nothing. They suddenly understood why the Bold Devil was called the Bold Devil. It's such a strong anti-resistance. Uchiha narrowed his eyes. No, I don't think he has magic resistance at all, but his body strength is too terrifying. The energy attack of the black mage is not as good as the energy of a cell in his body. How could it possibly hurt him? Magneto analyzed through the magnetic field. Are you kidding? His body is so strong. Merlin expressed disbelief. Whitebird and others frowned, but fortunately, the first Muto game was to test the opponent's strength, and the reason why he used the Muto game was because he had a powerful Hulk card. Now it's time to use this trump card. The possession of the Black Magician is my strongest power, and it doesn't work. It seems that I can only use the Hulk card. At this time, Muto Game was also ready to use the Hulk card. He has a set of exclusive cards for the Black Mage, such as Thousand Knives, Magic Hat, Black Magic Cloak, and Rebound Magic Tube, but just now his all-out blow didn't work, and it is impossible to defeat the bald head with these methods. Demon King. Wow, I saw the Millennium artifact of Muto Games. The Millennium building block exploded with golden light and a momentary light sound, and then drew 5 cards in a row from the deck, consuming one's own soul power to summon the cards. Come out, Dark Archmage. Chapter 168 Infinite Attack Power vs Serious Punch. Wow, what did Muto Games summon? What a shining red beam. At the moment when Muto Games summoned the Dark Archmage, 5 huge ceiling slates appeared in the closed absolute domain, and the ceiling slates formed a 5-pointed star magic circle, which was connected together in the very center of the magic circle. A gigantic red beam of light with endless power penetrates the sky, and penetrates the sky point, and in the huge red beam of light, an Egyptian demon god with bronze skin sealed by chains reappeared in the world. What a strong oppressive force, like a god and a demon coming into the world. What level of card is this? Alice said in surprise. What a cool card. Stars twinkled in Liuhua's eyes, as if he wanted such a powerful card. Are all the card players so awesome this year? They can summon demon level monsters. Devil, he is the elf incarnation of a god of magic. Merlin frowned. Chen, how many star cards is this? It looks amazing. Aqua asked while holding Yi Chen's hand. This is a 12-star card. Its strength is higher than that of Blue Eye's Ultimate Dragon, and its body is a demon. In the world of Muto Games, there are only 2 cards stronger than him, but neither of those 2 cards is normal. Summoning. Yi Chen looked at the Dark Archmage with some nostalgia, and said. Dark Mage Exodia, star rating 12 stars, attribute, dark, race, magic users, god of fantasy, god of magic, attack power, unlimited, defense power, unlimited. Special ability, once you appear in the dark game, you will win directly. The characteristic is immortality and immortality, and the ultimate trick is the fire cannon of the devil, which can burn everything in the world. Dark Mage, this is one of Yi Chen's favorite cards in the past. When I watched the Yu-Gi-Oh! Animation, the first appearance of the Dark Master was particularly amazing. The attack power is infinite, and he killed 3 blue-eyed white dragons in one move, crushing everything to win, symbolizing absolute power. And the last appearance of the Dark Master is in the final chapter of Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster Duel. The scene that appeared that time was very shocking and majestic. It appeared from a huge beam of red energy, untied the chain, and broke a hand of the final boss, the Dark Evil God. The strength is also similar to that of the final boss, the Dark Evil God, with infinite attack power and defense power, and an immortal body. It's just that the Dark Mage is a summoning elf, and requires the host's soul power to maintain his immortality. When the host's soul power reaches the limit, he will be killed by the Dark Evil God. There is no way to do this, because all the cards summoned are the elf incarnations of the deity, and they all require a lot of soul power. If the Dark Archmage comes in real form, even if the strength is equal to the Dark Evil God, Yi Chen didn't expect Muto Games to summon the Dark Master. These 5 cards shouldn't be quest rewards, right? Yi Chen got the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon only after opening the card pack, and the card pack of Muto Games was lower than his level, so it was unlikely that he could open the Dark Archmage. The leader of the group said that this is the card my grandfather gave me. Muto Game nodded and said, to be honest, I didn't expect all the cards in my world to have souls. Doesn't that mean that if you buy more cards in your world, you can summon the monsters in it? So aren't you heaven defying? Liuhua said in surprise. Entity summoning requires soul power, and the Dark Archmage is the strongest card in the world. In the impression of Muto Games, the Dark Master is the strongest card. As for the dark evil god and the creation god of light, which are stronger than the dark master, they are not recognized by the world. One is the incarnation of darkness, and the other is the god of creation. If you can summon a lot of cards with such combat power as the dark archmage, Mutagames can rank among the top bosses, but that's unrealistic. Now Mutagames just summons the dark archmage, and it's a bit difficult. What kind of weirdo is this? Dragon level, or god level? At this time, the forgotten Saitama asked curiously. This is the elf, the incarnation of the devil. Hearing that Saitama regarded the Dark Master as a weirdo, Chen could not wait to slap him. Which of the weirdos in this world has such a demon-like body and aura? The power of the universe overlord Boris is not that strong, and Boris is not a weirdo, but an alien. The elven devil? He looks so strong. Saitama's heart fluttered, and there was an urge to punch him seriously. Whether it's strong or not, you'll know if you try it. Having said that, Chen motioned for Mutagame to start the battle. Unseal the seal, Dark Archmage. Mutagame did not procrastinate, ordering the Dark Archmage to unlock the chains of his self-seal. The chains of the bound demon god fell to the ground, and the Dark Archmage let out an imposing roar. No, Misaka Makoto, Shinono Bundle, Rocker, and Alice all felt extremely heavy pressure under this momentum. I thought to myself, even if the Dark Archmage can't defeat the bald-headed Demon King, he can still draw for 10 minutes. Can I shoot? Saitama asked, pointing to his face. Attack. Mutagame started very simply, directly ordering the Dark Archmage to punch. Ugh. The pale golden fist with infinite power slammed into Saitama's face. Saitama flew upside down in response. The whole person was installed in the absolute field and bounced back again, rebounding for several laps before landing. What a great fist. Saitama stood up on the ground and exclaimed that it was the first time he had seen such a fist of endless power. However, Mutagame was shocked because Saitama was not injured, but there was some dust on his face. Even the infinite attack of the Dark Mage can't cause damage. Mutagames are a little unbelievable. However, he didn't know that the Dark Archmage's attack power was infinite, which did not mean that the attack power had no upper limit. The meaning of infinity is inexhaustible, that is, inexhaustible strength. In fact, in terms of punching power, the fist of the Dark Master is similar to Saitama's ordinary punch. It's just that both the Dark Archmage and Saitama can make an infinite number of such attacks, so the attack power is infinite. If it is the limitless limit of true power, then one punch will blow up the universe. Clearly the Dark Archmage can't do that. It's my turn to punch. At this time, Saitama saw such an interesting opponent. A leap and a fist against the Dark Archmage. Ugh. The two fists collided, and there was an earth-shattering explosion, and the aftermath of the shock was enough to cause a tsunami. The battle was very short, and after the confrontation, the Dark Archmage shattered an arm directly. And Saitama has white smoke on his fist. Achin, is Saitama winning? Aqua asked curiously. No, the strength of both sides of this punch is irrelevant, but the Dark Archmage is a spiritual body, and his arms can't support such a huge force. Chen said lightly. Sorry, I didn't mean to point at this time. It was rare for Saitama to meet an opponent who could take his normal punch, and he was in a good mood. But after discovering that the Dark Master's arm was broken, he quickly apologized. After all, they are demon gods, not weirdos, and they are not the target of his crusade. The Dark Archmage is an elf who can't speak. He just stares at Saitama silently, and is also shocked by Saitama's power. Even if he descended into the main body, he probably wouldn't be able to defeat Saitama. Dark mages are not that fragile. Mutagame shouted with a pale face. At this moment, the Dark Archmage was reborn from his broken arm, and returned to his intact appearance. Wow, regeneration. What a powerful ability. Saitama said in surprise. Although he himself is strong, he does not know the upper limit, but he knows that he has no regeneration ability. But if he has the ability to regenerate, it will be a bit incredible. At this time, Mutagames ignored Saitama's expression and decisively ordered, you can't fight with him to consume. The Dark Archmage uses the Demon Fire Cannon, Devil Fire Cannon. The Dark Archmage is not at all slow. and with his endless strength, he sends out a demon fire cannon full of hell flames. The huge flame light cannon traverses a void, and the terrifying power seems to be able to destroy everything in the world. Saitama didn't dodge, but ate the Dark Master's trick. What a powerful force, you are really strong. Saitama was burned by the demon god's flame cannon, but his body was not different. After getting used to the temperature of the flame, he took a deep look at the Dark Master and said, "It's a pity that you are not the body now. It's over. Take a serious punch." A punch. A simple punch without the slightest flamboyant action point. The demon god fire cannon was scattered, and the fist wind penetrated the immortal body of the dark archmage. Half a minute later, Mutagame, who could not maintain the soul power required for the Dark Master to be immortal, passed out, and the Dark Master turned into a faint. The king's photon and dissipated. The first trial is over. Saitama was slightly disappointed, but after all, he couldn't stop his serious punch. However, Chen raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and secretly said, "Is this the power of a serious punch? It really is enough to shatter the stars, but it's not beyond my estimation. Is this a loss?" Alice said regretfully. She feels that, if the soul power of Mutagames is infinite, then the Dark Archmage can fight against the bald-headed Demon King in the strongest state. With the immortal characteristics of the Dark Archmage and the flames of hell, at least he will not be so easily defeated by the bald-headed Demon King. Beat it. Have you persisted for 10 minutes? Liuhua asked. No, exactly 9 minutes. Chen said lightly. Hearing this, the members of the internet cafe felt regretful for a while. It was too difficult to survive these 10 minutes. It could be called 10 minutes in hell. Next, speed up. Chen glanced at his watch at this moment and said lightly, "Who is the second player?" Because Bidao was so shocking, many people forgot who the second player was. "Looks like it's me." Magneto's face is a little ugly. He regrets being the second one now, but he also has a unique trick. I don't know if it will work against the bald-headed Demon King. PS. The previous 7 and 8 were yesterday, and today's update officially started. Chapter 169. Shocked. The big guys actually do this kind of thing to the bald Demon King. Are you the second one? You look very strong. The moment Saitama saw Magneto, he more or less sensed the terrifying magnetic field on Magneto's body. Although I have confidence in my own strength, but I know I can't compare to you. Magneto is self-aware. Although he can control the magnetic force of the planet, he can now generate electromagnetic interaction, and with the miraculous effects of the divine medicine, he is like a thunder god who controls electromagnetic. From the analysis of Saitama's strength and magnetic field just now, Saitama's serious punch is estimated to be able to shatter the stars with one blow, enough to shatter the surface of the earth. And it's just a serious punch. Magneto knows that he can't beat Saitama in a head-to-head duel. Then do you still want to fight? Saitama asked immediately, when he saw that the opponent seemed to abstain. Magneto is human. If he doesn't want to fight, he won't force it. It is definitely necessary to fight, although it is a bit shameless, but don't blame me. Take it. Electromagnetic force field. Infinite light thunder. Magneto transforms into electric light, 10 miles away from Saitama, and moves at the speed of light in his own magnetic field with Jade as the center point. Rumbling in the 10-mile magnetic field. Lightning flashed, and Magneto galloped away constantly. The lightning arcs he emitted surrounded Saitama, forming a terrifying electric magnetic field, and a terrifying energy vortex appeared in the center of the magnetic field. This vortex was enough to electrocute any strong person under the 6th order into scum. This is an attack like Thunder Purgatory, but Magneto's move still failed to cause any damage to Saitama. Saitama often walks against the lightning in the sky on rainy days, and the voltage can't do him any harm now. It's so powerful, it's so fast, I didn't even react, but it doesn't work for me. You can stop now. Saitama shouted, haha, let me stop, you think too much. Magneto laughed. He didn't even think about stopping. He just wanted to waste time. Move at the speed of light for 10 minutes, undefeated. What can Saitama do to him? Saitama was stunned. Isn't this cheating? In fact, even if Magneto moves at the speed of light, Saitama can catch up, and it doesn't take a few seconds for him to fly back. to Earth from the moon point. It's just that Magneto's elementalization is immune to physical attacks, which is difficult to work point, and if Saitama punches seriously, he can also disperse Magneto's electromagnetic energy with one punch point, but Magneto is now electromagnetically coexisting with almost infinite energy point. Must wait for Magneto to exhaust his stamina before Saitama can defeat Magneto, who makes Saitama not armament hacky. In fact, the most important point is that Saitama does not want to kill Magneto, otherwise this rogue method may not work. What a shameless tactic. Seeing Saitama's confused look, Misaka Makoto covered his face. He was also playing with electromagnetism. Magneto's level was higher than her, but his methods were too clumsy. Mr. Magneto, this time it's real skin. Liu said with amazement. Cola la la Whitebird smiled, unable to say anything. I think it's a good tactic. Enel chuckled. Point is Thunderfruit can also develop the ability to manipulate electrons and electromagnetic waves, and also replicate Magneto's methods. Although his strength is not as strong as that of Magneto, their speed and physical strength are similar. 10 minutes are up, you can stop turning. Chen really admired Magneto a little bit. He didn't even want his face for the second class reward. Sure enough, he stayed in the Superdimension Internet Cafe for a long time, and his integrity would be eaten. Haha, let it go, the bald devil. As soon as 10 minutes came, Magneto conceded defeat, but with an expression like a victorious admiral army. Saitama had black lines all over his face, and wanted to beat Magneto with his old face. The third, I remember Uchiha Madara. Orochimaru looked at Uchiha Madara jokingly. With Uchiha Madara's arrogance he definitely couldn't do such a thing. Then he can see how Uchiha Madara eats. In Orochimaru's view, neither Susanoo, planetary devastation, nor Shinra Tensei could have done harm to Saitama. The fire of Amaterasu might be useful, but the fire of hell like the demon fire cannon didn't work either, so he was 100% sure that Uchiha Madara was dead. HMPH, Orochimaru, you want to watch me eat the nest? You underestimate me too much. Uchiha Madara sneered, walked lightly to the great demon king Saitama, and made a seal. Wood style. The tree world is coming. In an instant, a jungle covering 100 miles appeared in the absolute field. Wow, are you playing magic? Saitama looked at the 100 miles of jungle and exclaimed. The abilities of these people are so interesting. Come in and defeat me if you can. I'm a ninja and won't fight you head on. After Uchiha Madara finished speaking, he escaped into the jungle of the tree world, leaving behind a confused Saitama. Don't run. After a while, Saitama rushed into the tree world by intuition. Then, 10 minutes later, you have to rely on it. Why? I have knocked you down hundreds of times. Why are you still standing up? Saitama is a road idiot, and after circling dozens of circles in the tree world, of course he found Uchiha Madara by intuition. But Uchiha Madara can't be killed. That's my avatar technique. All you kill are my wooden avatars. Uchiha Madara smiled lightly. When the second level reward was in hand, Uchiha Madara didn't play anymore. He knew that he couldn't beat him, so why did he have to confront the bald-headed demon king head on? And it's not that Uchiha Madara hasn't tried illusion, but it's useless. The highest level Manjaki Sharingan can only make Saitama sluggish for 0.001 seconds, and at the moment when Saitama was sluggish, Uchiha Madara got close to Saitama and was punched by his instinct, and his abdomen was pierced. But for Uchiha Madara, who has Sanju Hashirama cells, this injury is nothing to him. At the same time, Uchiha Madara, cat, secretly swore that he would never fight the bald-headed demon again until he became Sage of Six Paths. The body of the bald-headed demon king seems to be inhabited by gods. His attack power and defense power are bottomless, and his abnormal resistance is also at the same level as gods and demons. Fortunately, he does not know ninjutsu or magic, and his IQ is not high, otherwise it's hard to outwit. 10 minutes, you can go down. Chen has taken it all in. Today, the internet bosses don't want to have any morals, and there is not a single positive demon king. The only positive thing turned out to be the muta game. It seems that they have discussed it long ago, to test the water with the muta game. If you can win, you need to be positive. If you can't win, you need to use tactics and outsmart. CRU, young man. After Uchiha Madara stepped back, He glanced at Orochimaru slightly smugly. I didn't expect you to be like this, Uchiha Madara. Orochimaru's face twitched violently. Point as promised. The Uchiha family is proud of the Pete. Why didn't Saitama destroy the entire tree world? Alice wondered. Yes, why didn't I blow up the tree world? Saitama just thought of this. No use. Yes, if I don't want to fight with you, there are at least 100 ways to delay time. Uchiha Madara smiled. This is the gap between each other's intelligence. Okay, what's so good about this kind of shit? Next one. Aizen. Chen said. Aizen walked slowly to Saitama under the watchful eyes of the internet cafe members at this moment. The members of the internet cafe are very curious. What kind of rid operation the big boss Aizen will do to the bold devil? The operations of the previous bigwigs are already showy enough, and I don't know what Aizen will do. I've used Kaikatsu Jetsu and found that it doesn't work for you, so I can only use my new understanding of gods. Solution. Aizen looked at Saitama as soon as he appeared and said lightly, God's solution? Saitama looked curious. Was this Aizen's ultimate move? That's my forbearance solution. After I realize the realm of the gods, bloom forever. Kaikatsu Jetsu. Aizen's hands and pocket shattered and bloomed. Endless ice flowers scattered on the battlefield, and all kinds of exotic flowers and plants emerged from the earth, showing a beautiful and poetic world. Are you doing tricks again? What's the use of this kind of attack? Saitama snorted. My spiritual solution. That is, my realm of the gods is not a combat skill, but an auxiliary class. These exotic flowers and plants are composed of all the souls who believe in me and can allow me to obtain unimaginable soul power. Unlimited and unlimited release of Kaikatsu Jetsu, and these ice flowers will also resist damage for me. Aizen proudly said his long-awaited big move, but then the conversation changed. Of course, according to my preliminary analysis, this is far from defeating you. You can hit me, but every time you make a shot, you will shatter a person's soul, and I will be unscathed. Now, do you choose to obediently let me play for 10 minutes, or to hurt innocent souls? Aizen smiled slightly. Despicable. You are too despicable. Saitama was confused about Aizen's explanation, but he still understood the last sentence. That is, Saitama can't attack Aizen. He can only let the other party's conspiracy succeed. Sure enough, it's still a slapstick operation. Chen shook his forehead. These big guys are too good at playing, but I don't blame them. They are all big bosses, and they are not gentlemen. Why do they want to duel with you? They are from Yin. I can solve it. Just try to break one point. However, in order not to let this trial mission lose its original meaning, Chen had to order. After Aizen, don't play this kind of operation. If you can beat it, you can beat it. If you want to survive 10 minutes, you will die. Otherwise I can cancel your second prize. If it goes on like this, Saitama probably doesn't want to fight with them, so how can the trial mission go on? Isn't the fifth person very disadvantaged? Merlin pointed to himself. He happened to be the fifth person, and this time he was going to be unlucky. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 170. The True Power of the Devil, the Strongest Shield. Is my next opponent him? He won't ask for any more tricks. Saitama pointed at Merlin and said, Merlin, the magician of flowers, is dressed in fancy clothes, and it is impossible to guarantee that he has special abilities of one kind or another. Saitama is powerful, but he is not omnipotent. These people have to find loopholes in the rules to play. There is no fighting, meaning and fun. I will do my best to show you the true power of a demon in a complete state. Seeing Saitama's contemptuous expression, Merlin was instantly filled with anger. Don't look at Merlin's usual amiable appearance of a big brother, harmless to humans and animals. It is still very scary to be serious. Then I'll trust you again. Let's do it. Saitama shouted. Unlimited magic power in the realm of God. Projection magic. Sword of Oath victory. Without any hesitation, Merlin cast out the realm of the gods he had learned in the Forbidden Universe and performed miracle level projection magic. projecting the golden holy sword in the strongest state, and continuously sending out beams of cannons. Every beam cannon can destroy an ancient city. This light cannon attack, with the blessing of Merlin's infinite magic power, can match the world destruction noble phantasm of another crowned hero, the Demon King Solomon. This is Merlin's growth in the superdimensional internet cafe. Originally, Merlin's strength was not comparable to Solomon's, but now, he has faintly surpassed Solomon in the state of heroic spirit. If it was in the Temple of Valor, it would still be very difficult for Merlin to defeat the Demon King Solomon, who commanded the 72 demon gods. That arduous task should be left to the father of the first emperor, known as Ancestral Dragon. But now Merlin's strength can be regarded as a annihilation star, so Luo Liang, Athena, and Eris have to pay attention. However, in the face of Merlin's overwhelming beam cannon that could destroy the surface of the planet, Saitama's reaction was very fast, and he punched out of instinct. Regular punches in a row. With a simple fist, all the beam cannons emitted by Merlin were defeated, and the aftermath of the spread was enough to level all the countries in the world. Aizen, Uchiha Whitebird and other bigwigs watching the game, as well as Zarshizi, Eyeing Lily, Sage Megumi, etc. watching the live broadcast in the internet cafe, are the first time to see Merlin, the real strength of many Dapix trotters. This is also Merlin's first full-scale shot after joining the Super Dimension Internet Cafe. Is this Merlin's true strength? Aizen pushed his glasses. No wonder Merlin was always ranked ahead of him. It was not without reason. HMPH. When the battle of the gods is over in 3 days, I have to step up my plan to become an immortal. Uchiha secretly said in his heart, Kola la la, I thought that, after purchasing the potion, the gap has narrowed, but I didn't expect it to become bigger. Whitebird smiled boldly, and some fighting spirit flashed in his heart. Such a world-destroying demon war is worthy of the title of the man who destroyed the world. Seriously punch. At this time, Saitama enters serious mode, and the battle begins to intensify. Dream charm. Hero shaping. Merlin strengthened the quality and strength of his own magic power, released the projected holy sword with all his strength, smashed the projected holy sword, and released a blow comparable to a super star destroyer. Boom. The fist collided with the star destroyer cannon that was sent out by the smashing holy sword, producing an unparalleled shocking explosion. If Yi Chen's magical barrier was not strong enough, the spectators would probably be cool. I suddenly regret participating in this mission. Alice's face twitched. She should take the initiative to admit defeat when she comes on stage. This kind of power is already world destroying. Liuhua said sadly, even if our evil king's true eyes were real, they were not so condescending. You are very strong, stronger than that dark archmage. But can you still be stronger? After the aftermath of the energy dissipated, Saitama stood in front of Merlin intact, stared at Merlin, and said, although it's a pity, but I have to admit that my current strength is almost at full strength. Merlin shook his head. In terms of power, he was never comparable to a monster with an unknown upper limit of combat power, such as the great Demon King Saitama. It's a pity. I originally wanted to fight with blood. Saitama's excited expression suddenly turned a little dull. Although I haven't fought seriously for a long time, I'm very happy to meet a strong person who can fight seriously. But after the serious battle, he wanted to rekindle the bloody battle of the year, but it was a pity that Merlin's strength was almost at its peak. Although I can no longer fight with you, if you punch with all your strength, I can block it. Seeing that Saitama was genuinely disappointed, Merlin gritted his teeth and decided to use that whole card. What do you mean? Saitama asked curiously. I have a noble phantasm. This is the sacred relic I promised to the leader. Unless you can destroy the world with one blow, no matter how high your attack power is, you can't hurt me. Merlin said solemnly. 4 flowers. Of course, then the hanging artifact must have a usage limit. That is, it needs to consume magic power. If it wasn't for the infinite magic power that Merlin realized, that the realm of the gods is infinite, he wouldn't dare to say that he could resist Saitama's onslaught. You still remember this? When Yi Chen closed Merlin's little black house, he promised himself a sacred relic, but he didn't expect it to be that treasure. Avalon. It's not that there is an Avalon in Dalian, which is called in Merlin's noble phantasm, but the scabbard of the King of Knights. Once Avalon is unfolded, it will form an absolute sanctuary where X's anti-world noble phantasm's stray sword and the 5 magics cannot interfere. Is an absolute defense, but you gave me the scabbard of your future disciple, won't that change her fate? Chen said hesitantly. Will the King of Knights without the scabbard of Avalon be summoned as a heroic spirit? 0 that way, I won't meet Inuyasha again, which seems pretty good. It's okay, I originally planned to entrust her to you anyway. Merlin knew that he couldn't change Archeria's fate, only Superdimension Internet Cafe and Chen could, and he had such a plan from the very beginning. Chen was stunned, and Merlin's answer was really beyond his expectations. Why do you entrust your disciple to your brother? Are you going to die? My concubine's wisdom tells me that Merlin has been planning for a long time, right? HMPH. Chen, don't promise him. At this moment, Luo Liang, Athena, and Aqua suddenly glared at Merlin fiercely. Merlin suddenly felt a lot of pressure, and seemed to have offended a few terrifying tigresses. So he had to change the subject. Cough, cough. Battle is important. The trial mission is not over yet. Okay, I'll do my best. Saitama clenched his fist tightly, and the crimson energy invisible to ordinary people surrounded his body. It was an unfathomable destructive energy with infinite destructive power. Once punched, how much destructive power will be caused? Chen's god-level seeing and hearing are already unpredictable. At this moment, Merlin was also bursting with blue magic power. Under the realm of God, it was continuously delivered to Avalon's scabbard, and a peak collision was about to unfold. Chen stared at Saitama and Merlin on the battlefield, thinking in his heart, things went better than expected. If Merlin can take this punch, then he can defeat Saitama. I don't know which is the strongest punch in the world of One Punch Man or the strongest shield in the world of Fate. Superior. Chapter 171. The Final Trial. The 1-second battle. Superdimension Internet Cafe. Just when Merlin and Saitama were about to start their strongest confrontation, Hatsune Miku held Yanlingji's hand, and couldn't help asking, Sister Yanlingji, do you think the bald-headed devil will win? Why is he so powerful? Hearing this, Zarshizi, Sage Hui, and Dying Lily in the Internet Cafe all looked over, and they were also curious as to why the bald-headed devil was so powerful. He can do 2 tricks, passive beating, active punching, but these 2 tricks are eaten all over the world. The special abilities they worshipped in the past, superpowers, magic, ninjutsu, kit, and even power may not work. Why is this? I only have one guess, that is, the bald-headed devil is really strong. He has no magic resistance, armor, mystery, or law protection. With the terrifying energy in his body, he can neutralize all attacks in the world. Yanlingji sighed. This is a kind of martial art, and it can defeat 10 guilds with one force. The bald-headed Demon King is strong because he has inestimable terrifying energy in his body. The energy can collide and cancel each other. Whether it is superpower, magic, soul power, or martial arts energy, it cannot escape this law. As for the mystery of the world of gods, the omnipotence and omniscience of the demon gods in the demon band universe are just special examples. The One Punch Man world is a universe where normal energies collide and cancel each other out. Unless Saitama leaves the world of One Punch Man, enters the world of gods, enters the forbidden universe of 063, other universes or universes with special rules, will he be restrained? But this is the universe of Saitama, and the absolute field in the trial mission is also an absolutely fair environment for both parties. Then, how can we defeat him? Hatsune Miku asked curiously. In fact, it's very simple to say, but everyone can't do it. Yanlingji said with a wry smile. If you want to defeat Saitama, there is only one way, be stronger than him, or become stronger than him. Other than that, all means are futile. However, it is impossible for the members of the Internet Cafe to lose their strength and surpass a monster whose energy surpasses them all at once. So it is called a hell-level trial mission. A task that basically no one could accomplish from the start. Apart from Master. You should have a solution. Yanlingji whispered in her heart. She had an inexplicable confidence in her master. Sister, the battle has begun. Hatsune Miku pointed to the bald-headed Demon King on the screen and said, Super Kill Series, All Out Punch. Saitama's moves are still the same unpretentious, just one punch, one straight punch, but this time, the energy contained in the straight punch was really scary. Point in Merlin's eyes, the invisible red energy was as dazzling as the sun. This blow, shouldn't it be able to blow up the sun? Merlin was extremely shocked in his heart. The bald-headed Demon King's full strength punch undoubtedly entered the 7th tier, but Merlin didn't back down. He didn't have confidence in himself, but in the world he came from, expand it, away from the ideal land of the world. Merlin fully unfolded the scabbard Avalon, an endless starsea world, the perfect ideal world, flashed by the moment Avalon showed. Point such a beautiful world is the dream, that the world pursues forever. Humans without dreams will only stagnate and perish. Point therefore, the existence of Avalon itself is a miracle, magic, and the ultimate ideal. With the power of eternal dreams, those who hold Avalon will gain eternity, immortality, and be isolated from the world. Boom. Saitama's all-out punch hit the Avalon barrier, but the shocking power didn't affect Merlin in the barrier at all, really blocked. Saitama and Merlin were overjoyed. Neither of them was sure of the outcome of this confrontation, but the result was a surprise to both parties. Finally found an opponent who can go all out. Saitama shouted excitedly, "Come on, let me see how many punches you can throw." Merlin shouted proudly, but soon regretted it. Super Kill Series full power, chain fist. Without any hesitation, Saitama grabbed his fist and erupted like a machine gun. Point tick, 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 tick. The efficiency keeps increasing, from a few times a second, to dozens, hundreds, and thousands of times a second. The terrifying serial boxing made Merlin tremble. Point it is possible that the boxing that hammered the sun would continue to hit such high frequency attacks. Is the energy of this bald-headed Demon King inexhaustible? No, I can't take it anymore. Under the continuous bombardment of Saitama, Merlin's realm of gods will soon reach its limit. Without the realm of gods, Merlin's magic power is not infinite, and Avalon loses its effect without magic power. Point play. In the end, the bald-headed Demon King blew up Merlin with one blow, and Merlin used the dream incarnation of the Dream Demon to replace reality and dream, and escaped the fatal blow, but he was unable to fight again. You held on for 15 minutes, and did a great job. Chen gave Merlin a thumbs up. This record is really much prettier than Magneto and the others. Magneto and the others are embarrassed to look at Merlin now. It's alright, but I didn't expect my god's domain to have a limit. Otherwise I think I could wear down the bald-headed devil. Merlin said, under level 7, the domain of the gods is exhausted. As for exhausting him, do you see that he has left a drop of sweat after fighting until now? Chen pointed to Saitama and said, Saitama is still full now. That's not right. Before he punched with all his strength, he was clearly out of breath. Merlin said, you don't need to know that. Point. The mission requirement is that Saitama's intelligence cannot be disclosed, so Chen didn't say it. Point. In fact, Merlin read it right. Saitama was still panting just now, but now he has recovered and has become stronger. Why? Just because Saitama has broken through the life limiter, the potential is almost endless. Why almost? Because Saitama's energy will never exceed the upper limit of cosmic energy. Saitama is not really infinite potential. Point. If Saitama can penetrate his own universe one day, he may become stronger, but the probability is negligible. Point. And how strong is Saitama now, and at what speed is it growing? It's actually hard to estimate. Point. Because the energy in Saitama's body is unstable. When he needs it, the energy in his body increases at an incredible rate. Under normal circumstances, Saitama's level is an explosive star. At full strength, it is possible that even the sun can explode. How much will it increase if he fights for his life? This is immeasurable. Point. No one knows how much energy a universe has. However, for this trial mission, you only need to defeat Saitama in full strength. Point. Anyway, one day, Chen will be able to blow up the universe, and then it will be enough to fight against the peak Saitama. Next. Chen said lightly, the old man has abstained, and the old man still needs to hone his own way. Although Laozi is in the realm of heaven and man, he has comprehended the realm of gods, and he is very likely to be stronger than Merlin. Point. Of course, this does not include Avalon. Killer la la. The old man will definitely fight. Whitebird didn't flinch. He held his head high and fought Saitama with an open mind point. Although he only blocked a serious punch, he was knocked out by Saitama's second punch point. But Whitebird's momentum is not weaker than Saitama point. Even Chen was surprised that Whitebird has entered the 6th rank in terms of strength, but his body has not yet completed the transformation. Although the potion of the gods has activated his potential, his previous body was severely aging, and his potential was limited. Whitebird needs to exchange for a bloodline with powerful vitality. Once he is successfully exchanged, he can completely become a 6th order boss after Whitebird. Enel also appeared and wanted to repeat the miracle of Magneto, only to be blown away by Saitama. Enel is barely close to rank 5 now, and is far inferior to Magneto in terms of magnetic field manipulation. Saitama has had an experience once, and he didn't give Enel a chance at all. Point in 9th place was Orochimaru. Orochimaru showed Saitama what it means to be disgusting. Point shedding, body replacement technique, clone technique, summoning technique, delayed Saitama for 5 minutes, but in the end it was chakra exhausted and defeated. Point in addition to Orochimaru, Rocker, Alice, Misaka Makoto, and Shinono Bundle all conceded defeat. Point after that, Eluoheo, Athena, Aqua, and Eris appeared. Point the 4 girls lasted 10 minutes. Eluoheo was full of power and infinite teleportation. He beat Saitama for 10 minutes. Although Saitama was not injured, Saitama had no chance to fight back. Saitama can't teleport, no matter how fast he is. There is still a time buffer, and Eluoheo's teleportation to the realm of transformation is almost suspended in time, and with the power to assist her with various alchemy, Saitama can't find Eluo's flaws at all. In this battle, Saitama was relatively convinced. Point obviously he is stronger, but it is useless if he can't touch the enemy. Just like he fights mosquitoes, Athena's clearance method is also very simple. Expand her realm of the gods, the infinite nether hell, an endless dark space, the size of which is the same as the universe, which can swallow energy. Saitama's attack power can't blow up a universe. Point. Although Athena couldn't help Saitama, it was easy to hold on for 10 minutes after Athena. Aqua's customs clearance method is simpler. She uses the divine power and root conversion, which is only available to the upper gods in the heavens, and converts all attacks against her into water attribute attacks. How can Aqua with water element resistance maximum be possible? Injuried. Although this requires the consumption of Aqua's divine power, the consumption is very low, and Saitama finally played for 10 minutes without hurting Aqua. Point and Eris does not have the unique divine right of the upper god, but she cleared the customs. Because of her good luck. Point an endless dark space was created, full of traps such as watermelon peels, mosquitoes, rats, ants, etc. Saitama 3.7 didn't hit her, so she didn't know how much she ate in that space. Point arguably Saitama's most embarrassing battle. It's really hard to fight against the goddess of luck. Chen said with a smile. Saitama has a black line on his face, and I have to say that the goddess of luck really can't be offended. Point. And after the battle of Eris, King appeared and conceded defeat. I'm not the strongest man on the surface, you are. King shouted to Saitama, as if he had used all his strength. Point after speaking, King felt relaxed and stepped aside under the astonished gazes of Whitebird and the others. Team leader, my lord, is King convinced by Saitama's power? Whitebird asked suspiciously. King is right. After the details are over, I will release the memory video of this world. Speaking of which, I can't blame King all, but those of you who can't see through him, and God. Chen smiled meaningfully, and then walked across from Saitama. Let's start our final trial. I will end the battle in a second. Chen said lightly. Point. As soon as this statement came out, not to mention the horrified expressions of Whitebird and the others, even Saitama, who was eager for his opponent, was shocked. Point. End the battle in 1 second. Is it possible? Chapter 172, the full level realm of God. End the fight in a second? Saitama touched his big bald head and asked hesitantly, do you mean to admit defeat or beat me? Just kidding. Do you think the leader will admit defeat? Without waiting for Chen to answer, Alice snorted coldly. This bald head is too confident, but she just defeated all the big guys in internet cafes. If it wasn't for the trial copy, the internet cafe bosses could escape, even if they couldn't beat him. Although you are stronger than me. Do you think you can defeat the master? Aestes said coldly, the leader of the team can even defeat the all-powerful and omniscient devil. Urza said point. Although the two queens conceded defeat when facing the bald-headed demon king and recognized Satama's strength, they did not think that Satama could defeat Chen. Chen beat him. Aqua immediately shouted when she saw that the bald-head dared to look down on Chen. Senior Aqua, the master will not lose, don't worry. Eris witnessed Queen Aya's compromise and knew Chen's ability in his heart. Dominators do not fight unsure battles. HMPH. There are big guys who have appeared in internet cafes, and some are stronger than you. Even the devil can kill them in seconds. Liu who hummed point. Back then, the three useless goddesses of heaven and earth had instantly lost the existence of being able to become a demon. Even if they were demons, they were no match for 20. Quan Wang didn't make a move, but all the internet cafe members knew that Quan Wang was summoned by a 24-star card, the same level as the three goddesses. Are those demon gods very powerful? And are they different from the previous ones? Satama muttered. Dark Archmage and Merlin are very strong. Luoheo is also very strong, but not as strong as him. If you go to their world, you will be stunned. When they come to your world, they will be a little weaker than Merlin. At this time, Chen said lightly and waved his hand, telling Acids, Urza, and Alice to stop talking. Is that so? Satama seems to understand, but he has no interest in those demons because there is no fun in fighting. He couldn't fight at the opponent's site and was directly beaten. When the opponent came here, it was just a punch at full strength. No combat experience. Master Chief, do you want me to give you Avalon now? Merlin suggested when the battle was about to begin. With the absolute defense of the scabbard, the leader should have a higher chance of winning. In fact, Merlin still has an ex-noble phantasm that he wants to give to Archeria, Spear of the End, but in this absolutely fair environment, the special effect of the Holy Spear is useless to the bold Demon King, so he didn't use it just now. In fact, it is no exaggeration to say that Merlin is a wholesaler of noble phantasms. As a remaining demon level character from the Age of God, he knows a lot of sacred relics and weapons made by God. Although the number is not comparable to Jin Shining, the quality is undoubtedly the envy of Jin Shining. Most of the treasures of King's Treasure are only C rank noble phantasms, and there are very few that exceed A rank. Give it to me, I don't need it now. I'll leave it to your future disciples for the time being. I'll pick it up when I'm free. Chen thought about it and rejected the proposal. It's not that Avalon is not easy to use, but that Chen has special effects of immortality and immortality, as well as a ring of faith that is infinitely reborn, so there is no problem in defense. The only difference is divine power. First, leave Avalon to Archeria when she was a girl, and then go to the Fate universe to play when she is free. Maybe there will be tasks at that time. Isn't it useful? Merlin didn't expect that the leader of the group was already so powerful. Sure enough, he was still too inflated before, thinking that he was very close to the leader of the group. And Aizen, Archer Hamadara, and Whitebird were all secretly shocked, and even Avalon didn't need to use it. It seems that they need more effort to keep up with the leader's footsteps. It would be nice to have a time house. Internet cafes have been around for too short a time. It's already scary that they have improved so much in such a short period of time. However, such a skyrocketing power actually has many drawbacks. It takes a long time to break in. Unlike the leader of the group, there is no negative impact at all after the rapid increase in strength. Chen is really the strongest. Aqua said with a smile, Master, come on, I'll give you a surprise when you win. Aestes thought of Yanling's proposal in his heart. Well, you guys keep talking, can you start a fight? Satama said impatiently. Here, he always felt that he was an outsider, and everyone favored Chen, saying that Chen would win him. Although he didn't care about fame and fortune, he wasn't that easy to pinch. Brother, come on, pick him up. Luo looked at Satama's arrogant attitude and was immediately upset. Although Satama doesn't know how arrogant he is, Chen beat him and won. They will give you an exclusive gift from the goddess. Aqua said with a smile, okay, let's get started. Chen said lightly, full punch. This time, Satama was the first to attack without the slightest pause. He was extremely serious His figure moved at the speed of light and hit Chen in the face with his strongest fist point. It's just that the fist was empty and went straight through. Let Saitama be very surprised. Space-time ninjutsu? Uchiha Madara looked equally shocked. Space magic? Merlin exclaimed. Illusion? Aizen said in surprise. It should be space ability. The method used by Master Luoheo just now was teleportation. It seems that Saitama does not have a good way to deal with space ability. Whitebird murmured. What kind of ability is this? Going through it directly. You don't have to fight at all. Saitama said with a gloomy face. He can't break the space by himself unless there is a person with the same strength as him. It is still possible for the two to fight desperately. And at that moment just now, it felt like Chen merged with the space and couldn't touch it at all. I'm the power of nothingness and I'm immune to all attacks. I'm surprised. The lion fights the rabbit with all his strength. You will do your best as soon as you make a move. How could I not be on guard? Chen said with a slight smile. If you rely on this ability, then we don't need to fight. Saitama muttered. No, I said, I will end the battle within a second when I make a shot. The attack that I evaded just now is just to tell you that I'm better than you in terms of defensive evasion and comprehensive strength, and even Avalon, which you can't break, I can also penetrate, which is one of the reasons why I'm confident that I can beat you. Your fists can't break anything. After that, Chen raised his hand to display his power, nothingness, and divine space. The endless sword of nothingness floats in midair, revealing a ferocious edge. It's very interesting. It's so powerful. I feel that ignoring it can defend and hurt me, but unfortunately it can't win me. Saitama squinted his eyes. His combat intuition 063 is maximum level, and he can perceive that kind of nihility, and the sword is very sharp, can pierce his skin, but the force is not enough. It can only cause skin trauma. Don't you understand? I just proved that my comprehensive ability is stronger than yours, and the battle will end as soon as I take action. Chen said leisurely. Then you start. Go on and on. Let me see. Saitama shouted impatiently. As you wish. Chen smiled slightly and sacrificed the artifact of truth, the magic book of truth. Does the master use the power of the demon god? Astes was shocked. No, that's a foul. My brother is not that stupid. Luoheo said lightly. And Chen is of course not that stupid. In an absolutely fair field, the power of the demon god is also invalid to Saitama, and it is a foul to use it. However, in an absolutely fair environment, the power of omnipotence and omniscience cannot be surpassed by Saitama. As long as you don't use Saitama, Chen wants to use the 1-second omnipotence and omniscience ability of the artifact of truth to elevate his realm of the gods to ultimate, create a 1-second realm of the Xian to defeat Saitama. Wake up. My god's realm is nothingness sanctuary, under the omnipotent and omniscient power of the magic book of truth. Chen completely surpassed the 6th order realm in this second, and expanded to the ultimate in the realm of God in the sanctuary of nothingness in the magic forbidden universe. As soon as the sanctuary of nothingness unfolded, Chen and Saitama disappeared in front of everyone. And no one could see everything in the sanctuary of nothingness, and at this second, in the sanctuary of nothingness, Saitama could sense that all the energy in his body was rapidly disappearing, and he was turning back into an ordinary person. Chapter 173 Super God Talent Card. How can you feel so exhausted? At the moment of losing his strength, Saitama's inner emotions were extremely rich. After 3 years of training, he gained invincible strength, but it disappeared at this moment. It was the first time that he felt panic in these years. In fact, Chen's Sanctuary of Nothingness did not make Saitama lose his power, but a contest between Chen's emptiness and the energy in his body. The final result was that the emptiness defeated the energy in his body and purified his energy. If it is a normal battle, although the level strength of Chen's nihilistic power is much higher than the crimson energy in Saitama's body, Saitama has the advantage in number. It's just that in the Sanctuary of Nothingness, Chen's power of nothingness can't see the end and spreads all over the universe. Unless Saitama has energy comparable to the entire universe, he will lose his power and be unable to fight again. Saitama is very strong, has a life of openness, and is invincible in the One Punch Man universe. It's a pity that I met Chen, who is more invincible and more hanging on the wall. It's over, bald-headed devil. At the moment of panic in Saitama's heart, Chen's figure flashed in the sanctuary of nothingness, and along with him came his fist, which slammed into Saitama's face with all the strength of his fist door. Almost the moment Saitama looked at the oncoming fist, a relieved smile flashed on the corner of his mouth, and then got hit. Ugh. With a heavy punch, Saitama fell to the ground and fainted. At this moment, the sanctuary of nothingness was lifted, and Saitama's figure flew out and landed on the ground. Just 1 second before and after, the internet cafe bosses and the goddesses such as Eris were all amazed. The winner was decided in an instant. Aizen pushed his glasses, curious about the team leader's cards. Chen, you are the best. Aqua cheered, so you won. What happened inside? Eris thought curiously. This is also everyone's curiosity, but it later became an unsolved mystery for internet cafes, because Chen never used this trick again for internet cafe members at this time. In the internet cafe, Hatsune Miku cheered for a while, hugged Yanlingji and said, "Sister Yanlingji, my elder brother is really amazing. It's not surprising that the master won." Yanlingji smiled proudly. It was unexpected and reasonable to end a battle like this. She wants to celebrate the master more than how the master defeated the enemy. Maybe she can use the method she told Acids last time, but she still needs her cooperation. At this time, after Saitama was defeated, Chen heaved a sigh of relief and said to himself, Void Sanctuary is very expensive. It only lasted for a second just now, but Chen felt extremely long, mentally exhausted, and extremely empty inside. Even with the help of the Truth Magic book, it is still extremely exhausting and testing the mind, but the effect. You can see the bald-headed devil in seconds. It's really great. It can be said that Nothing Sanctuary is Chen's strongest single-player trick at present. Moreover, Chen doubts that this Sanctuary of Nothingness can purify everything and purify the emotions of living beings. Otherwise, Chen wouldn't feel so empty in his heart, and now he especially wants to find a girl to hug him for warmth or something. After breaking through to the previous level, it seems that you should use this trick less. Chen took a deep breath, then looked at Whitebeard and others, and said, I declare now that the mission is over. Ding. The trial task is completed, and the settlement can be carried out. In an instant, the system prompt sounded, and then Chen nodded. Start billing. Ding. Rewards for each stage have been issued. In an instant, all members of the internet cafe who participated in the mission were awarded, including Eris and Saitama. It's just that Saitama passed out. Ding. Master Chen completely defeated the Bold Demon King. All attributes have been improved, and he won the lucky draw X1. Boom. At the moment of receiving the reward, Chen's blood swelled, his soul trembled in the sea of consciousness, and all of his attributes were enhanced several times at once. Attributes such as strength, spirit, agility, and physique are already difficult to calculate with numbers, and the divine power has improved a lot, and it is infinitely close to the 7th order, which can already match the upper gods. In terms of comprehensive strength, Chen is the early stage of half-step 7th order. Now it's half-step 7 level midterm. Don't look at improving only a small realm. It takes 100 million years of divine power to accumulate 100 million years of divine power from the 6th order great perfection to the 7th level, and to be able to cross a small realm in one fell swoop. It has already saved thousands of 10,000 years of practice. How big is the gap between rank 6 and rank 7? Just look at Saitama. He is a human, but his strength is at least rank 7, and he can destroy all gods and demons of rank 6. Tier 6 bosses in internet cafes are basically top experts at the same level, but they can't pose any threat to Saitama, and can only protect themselves at most. Moreover, Saitama's method is very simple, either attack or defense. If it is a 7th order demon, then it can really kill 6th order powerhouses other than Chen in seconds. This time, the gods of the main world can hang up and fight. Wang Heo. This time, Chen is going to kick out those gods who dare to plot against him, and give them a Ragnarok of the gods. Son, with Chen's current strength, apart from the restraining power of the primary world, He really has no opponent. By the way, there is another lucky draw. Yi Chen remembered this special lucky draw and suddenly thought to himself, start the draw, ding. Start the lucky draw and get Super God talent card. You can randomly get any talent at the True God level or above, True God or talent above True God. Yi Chen was stunned. Isn't it a talent above rank? If he got the talents of the Quan Wang and the 3 goddesses of creation, wouldn't he be invincible? Use Super God's talent card. Yi Chen decisively used this special card. Chapter 174 Pluton Body. All members reward. Ding. Use the Super God's talent card to get Pluton God Body. Pluton God Body. From Saint Seiya Pluton Hades. God King level talent bloodline. Grow to the peak. Can create the world, create the underworld, hell, the pure land of bliss, etc. Create the life of the underworld, and can display the big bang of the universe. A high level attack can easily destroy the low dimensional universe. Saint Seiya, the divine body of Pluton Hades. Yi Chen sensed the surging power of Pluton in his body, and was amazed that he could get this talent. This is undoubtedly a True God level talent, even surpassing the True God's talent. The setting of the Saint Seiya world is not weaker than the universe of Dragon Ball. Saint Seiya can't beat the earth, because the earth has the blessing of the gods. The gods in the Saint Seiya world actually live in higher dimensions. All the gods in the comics are not complete. Hades and Athena are reincarnated in the world. And Pluton Hades is one of the 3 god tier kings, and also the eldest brother of Zeus. Hades is the strongest of the 3 brothers, and it is the same in mythology. It's just that after the 3 Hades brothers overthrew their father's throne of God King, Zeus used a strategy to get the seat of the God King of the heavens, and combined Poseidon and the gods of the heavens to exclude Hades, and arranged Hades to the underworld, which is equivalent to the heaven. Ancient Lingnan King. After Zeus became the 063 God King, he was still extremely jealous of Hades, until Zeus devoured Athena's mother Metis. The divine power dared to surpass Hades, but even if Zeus became stronger later, Yi Chen felt that Zeus might not be able to beat Hades if they fought. Zeus did not appear in Saint Seiya, but Yi Chen disliked Zeus quite a bit. Anyone who knew a little about Greek mythology knew that Zeus was a scumbag with a very bad character. Although Hades is the villain in the Saint Seiya, he is not an evil god. He likes darkness, but is absolutely fair. But his character is ruthless and has no human emotions. Fortunately, I got Hades' divine body. If Zeus' divine body, I might consider selling this talent. Yi Chen doesn't like the bloodline of his father's love like a mountain of Zeus, and he can reach the real god realm sooner or later. Having the bloodline of the God King is the icing on the cake. It's not a pity if you don't have it. It's not indispensable. But Yi Chen really likes Pluton's godhead, so of course Pluton's godhead is kept by himself. With the Pluton body, Yi Chen is also invincible at the half-step level, and even some powerful people can't threaten him. Pluton's divinity is very powerful. Chen, why do I feel that you are suddenly more handsome? At this moment, Aqua's voice interrupted Yi Chen's thoughts. Eris nodded again and again, with a hint of blush on his face. Because Yi Chen had an unimaginable attraction to her. After getting the Pluton body in her world, there are almost no male gods in the heaven, and I don't know if the male god exists. Why did Yi Chen enter the realm of heaven and was treated differently by Queen Oya and invited him to enter the state house to do some good things for his body and mind? Apart from Yi Chen being strong, the second reason was that there was no male god. Yi Chen entered the heaven equals the Tang monk who entered the daughter country, and Eris is the goddess of luck and darkness. Yi Chen now has a dark body, which is of course more attractive to her. The wisdom of the concubine tells me that Chen has obtained the power that your concubine is familiar with. The goddess of the trinity of Athena is the goddess of the earth and the underworld, so it is easy to understand Yi Chen's changes. Brother got a new divine right. Luo Liang said with shining eyes, thinking that if this is the case, brother has become stronger again. Very good. She is more motivated to become stronger. Well, I did get an incredible power. By the way, what about you guys? What rewards did you get? Chen looked around the members and asked. The second class reward is 1000 member points plus a red envelope. 1000 member points is just a trifle for Luo Heo and the others. Guanjian is what the red envelopes give out. I opened a rank level artifact, the Scepter of Destiny. Eris said happily, I got a power, the god of time. When he mentioned the reward, Luo Zhao showed a rare happy smile, which shows how strong this power is. Concubine, I got a magic book of the gods of my world. If I learn the magic in it, I can enter the half step. Athena said lightly, well, Chen, why did I only get one pet egg? Aqua took out the egg she was holding in her hands, very dissatisfied. Well, it depends on luck. Chen secretly said, as expected, the goddess of luck has the highest luck, and then Luo Heo, the god killer, has terrible luck. Athena is the goddess of war and wisdom, and one of the goddesses with extremely high luck in mythology. It is normal for the reward to be generous. What about you? What are you driving? Chen looked at Merlin and they asked, it's quite a coincidence. I opened the ex-noble phantasm. It's a holy sword, but it's only for men. Merlin said depressedly, you're not talking about the old sword's oath holy sword. Chen instantly thought of this possibility. The old sword is Arthur Pandorogan, the male version of the King of Knights. His holy sword is an X-class noble phantasm when used against aliens and enemies who destroy the world. It is a sword of salvation. It can compete with the Deviant's sword that tears the world apart, but the power should be stronger than the Deviant's sword. The Deviant's sword doesn't have so many usage restrictions. Master Chief, you really guessed it right. Merlin was speechless. You really have a relationship with the King of Knights. Chen smiled, then looked at Uchiha Madara, Aizen, and Magneto, and asked, how about you? I got part of the blood of Sage of Six Paths. Uchiha Madara smiled, and he was shocked that he could now resurrect Senju Hashirama. I got part of the Spirit King's spiritual body. Aizen smiled slightly. This is a superb experimental material. I got the design drawing of the anti-Hulk mecha, and I plan to give it to my good son Tony. Magneto said helplessly, haha, it seems that the fate of your father and son is predestined by God. Whitebeard laughed. However, I felt a little regretful in my heart that he didn't get hot for 10 minutes, so there was no reward point. It seems that everyone's rewards are okay. Chen nodded slightly. This trial everyone has seen the horror of 7th order power, and it has been improved. Which is the best, by the way, the leader of the team. Doesn't it mean that after the task is completed, there will be a reward for all members? Alice asked, reward, let me see. Chen nodded and checked the information to see why all the additional rewards were not issued. It's actually such a reward. P.S. I have a bad stomach today, so I will rest after updating yesterday's 7th and 8th updates, and there will be 8th updates tomorrow. Chapter 175 Internet Cafe Monthly Card. Vote for membership. Such a reward. Hearing this, Alice, Liuha, Whitebeard, and Magneto all came over after seeing it. Chen, what kind of reward is that? Aqua asked curiously. A reward that is good for everyone. Chen smiled slightly, then don't give a shit. Aqua muttered cutely, looking at her cute appearance. It was really embarrassing to sell off. Alright. Chen didn't expect Aqua to be coquettish and cute. Where did she learn it? But it doesn't seem to be necessary anyway. Aqua has always been so cute. Plus Aqua is so cute. Who can refuse her request? Haha, so cunning. I didn't expect Senior Aqua to have a cunning side. Eris said sourly in his heart, and secretly glanced at the lovely Senior Aqua. But unfortunately there was no way. She couldn't be more cute. But she can't help it. The goddess's personality, attributes, body shape, and intelligence are doomed at the moment of birth. As a goddess of luck, she is not as cute as Aqua, which is a big joke for her elder brother. At this moment, Luo Heo shook his other hand and reminded seeing Luo Heo and Aqua standing on the left and right sides of Chen. Athena wanted to get close to Chen, but was pushed away. She suddenly put on a jade face, silently took out her mirror knife, and looked down at Chen very much. Dangerous look. Hey, your eyes are dangerous. Chen knew that Athena was expressing her dissatisfaction, and it was impossible to hurt him, but this hatchet-like look made him a little ashamed. I feel that Athena, after restoring the Trinity, is a bit more domineering, and her domineering personality is stronger, not as cute as the previous little Athena. Cola la la, the leader is still as popular as ever. Whitebird said with a smile, Master Chief, if there is nothing to explain, I have to go back and save the world. Alice couldn't stand it anymore, but she couldn't compete with these goddesses, and there are indeed many things about her, and the human survivors now respect her as a goddess. Although she is very tired, she is not tired of it. After all, she is someone who likes to be the savior of the world. And I don't know why. There are a lot of human survivor bases in her world, a lot more than the survivors in the Resident Evil movie. Alice miss. Are you saving the world? Tony just informed me that he has tested 10 improved Iron Man mechas in Retreat. If you want, he can test it for you for free. Magneto watched the superdimensional electrical change Chen's mobile phone and found Tony's message in it. Okay, thank him for me. Alice, her eyes lit up. With Tony's assistance, she would be much easier to kill zombies in the future. SHHHHH. Mr. Magneto, when did you have Tony's cell phone number? Liu had discovered this problem unexpectedly. Isn't the special father-son relationship between Magneto and Tony very bad? Isn't this normal? We are not primitive people. What's wrong with leaving a mobile phone number? Magneto smiled lightly, feeling that Liu was making a fuss. That's not right. What kind of skill does Tony have? He just shut himself up for one night and developed 10 improvement plans? Zyos his, he asked suspiciously. Mr. Magneto promised to give me research on mutant blood, and I gave him all the mechanical materials I controlled. Dr. Kinnis said at this time. In fact, Tony's later mechas are very terrifying. The Tengen Group mecha, the Godslayer mecha, and the Infinite Gem mecha, but the early mechas are not as good as the One Punch Man world, nor the mechas of Shinono Bundle, so the information of Dr. Kinnis is very useful. As for the Infinity Stones mecha, it was also one of the reasons why Chen wanted Infinity Stones, although Chen can use Infinity Stones directly. Mecha and Gundam are one of men's dreams. I'm not interested in mechas, but I can use all my ninjutsu to exchange biological samples with you. How do you feel, Dr. Kinnis? Orochimaru looked at Dr. Kinnis earnestly and expectantly. Orochimaru had wanted Dr. Kinnis' sample for a long time, but he didn't have the chance to speak. Just now the topic started. Orochimaru, who is full of curiosity, meets Dr. Kinnis, who is top of biology. How could he miss this opportunity? No problem. Dr. Kinnis nodded. Orochimaru was of the same kind as him, and he was also willing to share his research results with Orochimaru on the premise of exchanging experiences. Hey, how can you do this? Shinonobu is a little unhappy. These male scientists have isolated her. Zero ask for flowers. The direction of their research is different from yours. Tony, who is the only common field, is said to be autistic. They can't be blamed. Chen said, HMPH, I don't believe that there will be no female genius scientists to join in the future. Zyozadong said, unconvinced. Female genius? Chen suddenly thought of Boomer and Lara Daybrook, the heroine of Dragon Ball and the heroine of the Bag Queen. These two are geniuses, and both are stronger than Shinobu's bundle. It's really there. Yeah, try it. The fingers of Zyos' hands raised a victory gesture, smiling like a rabbit who won a battle. Cute. Playing cute is shameful. Chen has to say that, although the character of Zyos is offline, it is really cute. Zero, it's good to have talent. Alice glanced at Zyos' bundle with envy. A newbie can be favored by Chen, mainly because she has the ability, but she doesn't. Actually, you are also very powerful, and you can't go back for the time being. Seeing that he had left Alice in the cold for a long time, Chen couldn't help but patted her on the shoulder and comforted her. Alice's heart warmed, and sure enough, the leader of the team cared about her, but she was puzzled. Why can't I go back? Whitebird and others also looked over. Under the eyes of everyone, Chen said lightly, this time the extra reward is the monthly network card plus membership vote. The Internet Cafe monthly card is a monthly card that allows you to watch memory videos for free. It's a boon. You only need to recharge 10 membership points a month, and you can watch all memory videos for free. Wow, this is really a big benefit. Rauha, Alice and the others will no longer have to worry about watching memory videos in the future. Just signing in for a month will earn 300 member points, 300 points in the world mission, and 100 points in this participation mission. What about the membership vote? Whitebird said. Hey, this is powerful. After a pause, Chen said with a smile. After this trial, the new mode of Internet Cafe Exit will refresh several non-staff members from time to time every month, and then conduct a vote of all members of the Internet Cafe to decide whether the temporary members can enter the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.